Zim Zam Wallabam, welcome back to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. I'm here with co-hosts
Stan Warren.
Watson Bloody Bradshaw.
And I am obviously Chad Cook.
Hi, Chad Cook.
Hi. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Good. It's been a good week.
Could be better.
Could be better. It's been a long time since I've seen you guys.
Yeah.
No. We hung out Friday night. We went to
Saturday
FanFest.
night.
And then Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, it was Friday night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, we should just get into it. We went to FanFest, which is the
Universal.
Yeah. Set up
Studios.
Universal Studios, set up by my girlfriend Julie. Thank you so much, Julie, for hooking it up.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Julie.
She tried to surprise me by not telling me where we're going. I kind of figured it out. But the surprise was that you guys were there.
That
Yes.
was
Yeah.
You can't get rid of us. Yeah.
I can't, no matter how much hard I try.
We are like a barnacle on the bottom of your ship.
That's what it is, yes.
Yeah,
And
pretty much.
Yeah.
And that ship is friendship.
Whoa!
Oh.
Nothing sinking that one.
Except
Solid.
for barnacles.
I mean, we're smoothed barnacles. You
Okay,
know, we're
smooth out,
we're just stuck.
Yeah.
We're just
So
stuck.
you're
But smooth.
aerodynamic barnacles.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
That's
water
not
has kind of worn out our spiky,
outer
appendages.
shell.
Yes. Yeah.
Great. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got to check out FanFest, which is Universal's new event that they have for fans.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
pre-summer event.
Yeah, it's the first year they're doing it because we were talking about it while we were in line waiting to get in. We think that they need something between summer and something between the end of Halloween and the beginning of Halloween again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like an open. I mean, the park is open, but there's not a ton of fan heavy events going on that they can attract people in large bundles like they do for Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
I mean, they do have Christmas stuff going on with Grinchmas stuff, which is their big thing.
Excuse me, yeah,
after.
Grinchmas and Halloween Horror Nights. That's
Yeah,
right,
but then there is a big span of time where they don't have a whole lot going on.
Yeah. So this was concentrated on 3 separate IPs: Back to the Future, and a Star Trek, and Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So they had the separate areas of the park set up for fans to just go out and kind of hang out. It was pretty cool. And,
and this was Chad's first experience at Universal.
That's right, Chad. It was
Hollywood.
Yes. It was exciting. I mean, just to walk around and see everything, like the Simpsons town and Hogwarts and all that stuff. I mean, I've only been to another Universal on the East Coast, like when I was in middle school. So completely different experience, and it's much smaller over there too. So
Really?
yeah, it was like you could kind of like lap the whole place. I mean, I'm sure the tour would bring you
Right.
onto some studio lot if anything, but other than that, it seemed pretty small.
I mean, I think this one's pretty small. It just felt larger because we went down the escalator like 4 times. So
I mean, regardless of how many times we went, I think it was large because it's layered.
yeah,
You know,
like
from
a cake.
like an onion,
Like an
as
onion?
Shrek wanted to call it, an onion.
Yeah, so we had a little fun experience on the escalators. We went down to the
Yeah.
lower lot thinking that was where the Back to the Future
Yeah.
thing was, but it's through the tram ride, which takes you down to the Back to the Future lot.
Which I blame the signage.
It's a little weird, yeah.
We're following the signs and it was leading us to back towards like Simpsons, and that's apparently where it splits for the lower lot and the tram, and it wasn't actually clear where to really go. So
Yeah. So we went down to the lower lot. So if some of you who don't know, that Universal Studios Hollywood is built on a mountain, basically.
Yep.
So back in the 20s and 30s when the studio first started, they just kind of leveled the top of the mountain and then just went from there. So it's a terraced studio, and now they've turned it into a theme park. There's still studios at the bottom of the hill, but the rest of the hill is kind of terraced out, and so you have to take these long escalators to get to 3 separate levels of the park, and they're very long, very steep escalators. Some of the steepest escalators
The
in the United States.
prospector who probably picked the goddamn mountain that it was on, I would smack in the face, be like, what were you thinking?
The
Or you-
prospector?
Yeah, it was most likely, I found gold in these hills, and then he's like, oh, let's build a theme park on top of it. But
Well, the story behind it is originally that was supposed to be the location for Disneyland,
Yeah.
and basically Disney, because they had the Disney Anime Studios is right down the street, and so Disney, went to Burbank and was like, "Hey, we'd like to build a theme park," and they were just kind of like, "Yeah, well, we have this much land, you cannot expand any further."
Right.
And Disney being kind of shrewd and he got that offer, he got the offer of Anaheim, which was at that point mostly just farmed and
flat.
fields. Yeah.
So,
and pretty much open to expansion. So that's where he went.
Yeah.
But Universal was like, hold on, you're not done with that land yet.
Yeah, so they built on the foot of the mountain, and they built their studios, and the rest they had kind of like in their movies used to use the mountain as a backdrop.
Oh yeah.
But then they terraced just to cut the top of the top, just cut the top of the mountain off, and then just terraced out their theme park from there. So yeah, it's terraced out, and we went down these very steep escalators, and it's the first time Chad's been there, and we realized we're in the wrong location. Had to go back up.
I was like, "What the hell?" I mean, like the escalators aren't bad. They're just like
It takes a long time,
and it takes a long time to go back and up and down. So
Yeah.
I was like, there's got to be a faster way. They could, rework that some way. I don't know.
Well, it's gonna get faster when that new roller coaster goes in there.
That's right.
Because they're building a brand new Fast and Furious roller coaster that's going to start at the upper lot and make its way down to the lower lot.
Right.
So,
well, I will not be taking that, but I will
it
say
will be faster.
Hey, why don't they put a freaking elevator, on the side of the mountain and have it go down?
So it'd be an escalator type system, basically.
I mean, you'd have to wait to use the elevator, but you just fit however many people in it, goes down, comes back up to pick it, copy. But you're not gonna have to slowly make your way down. I was like, oh, okay, now we got to turn the corner. Oh, slowly down. It'd be one straight shot down to the terrace that you need to be on.
And how many people would this thing be able to carry? Maybe 30 at a time?
They could do freight elevators, I think, and maybe get
maybe 40.
Probably like if it could hold up to 1,000 pounds. Like how big is the Disney Guardians ride? How big is that elevator?
How many people does it fit?
Yeah.
Probably like
15.
Dozen or so.
All right. Yeah, we'll go that size.
So that's a very expensive system for a dozen people.
They have a lot of money now from the Fan Fest, so get on it.
From the Fan Fest.
Yeah.
Do a couple of those, you'll
Yeah.
make it back.
Okay. Universal, if you're listening, Chad will design this thing for you.
Yeah.
He has no engineering training whatsoever, but he'll design it for you.
Chad had a lot of ideas during Fan Fest.
That's true, he did.
Like,
Yeah, there was some good ideas you had.
Yeah, I mean, like
he's a theme park savant.
That's right.
I should, pitch them to them, but I mean, I don't know how to get their ears. I don't.
Well, here we are.
My buddy was willing to listen. He's
Hey.
I have a buddy that works at the park in the sound department, and he was like, "Hey, if you got ideas, I'll shoot up the ladder."
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to throw them, and then if we could get some compensation there somewhere,
Yeah,
or my name on a part of the park.
You'd be not an Imagineer, creative jeer.
Creative jeer.
Something like that, yeah.
No, hey, I take it. They were the smallest things, though. But I understand this is their first Fan Fest, so
Yeah.
obviously there's room for improvement on things.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of what it was. And
Yeah, well, let's go through it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
The first thing we did was they had the Back to the Future backlot opened.
Mm-hmm.
First time I ever actually walked around back there. I've driven by it in the tram, but I've never actually gotten to get off and experience it. So it was really awesome to do that. And I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. So just walking around the backlot was cool. They had, as you walked in, they had the Lions Estate marquees there, whatever they are.
Yeah.
That you see in the movie, and with a backdrop that was like the open fields that you see, in the film. That's a photo op. Go further in, and they're like, oh, it's just like the 50s. So they had created the backlot to look like Hill Valley, as it did in the film, to an extent. They had the Enchanted Under the Sea bandstand with the Enchanted Under the Sea band playing there.
Yep.
And eventually Marty McFly lookalike would come on and would jam out the way he does in the films. Pretty dope. And then photo op in front of the courthouse.
Yeah.
And next to it, where the DeLorean, the time machine, took off, they had lit part of the road on fire to make it look like the DeLorean had just gone through there. And then they had a spinning at a time license plate.
The license plate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would recommend, if you are going to Fan Fest, for that part, go when it's dark out, because there is a sequence of events where they play out the clock tower scene with Doc Brown, and they project a scene of the movie on the side of on the face of the clock tower building, and obviously we were there. It was still light out, so it was kind of hard to see. So I mean, everything else is. It doesn't matter what time of day, really, but for that part, I'd say.
Yeah, and then once so it's the scene where Doc has to hook up the electrical cables when the bolt of lightning strikes, which hits the DeLorean, sends him back. But when the bolt of lightning does strike, quote unquote, you see fireworks shoot off from the top of the courthouse, which is pretty cool.
Also, and then when the DeLorean speeds off, you see light travel across a bunch of the windows in the town. So, and that's better at night, obviously, as well. So
so I was talking to my friend about it, who works at the park, and she was telling me that it does play on like a loop. So it's the start of the movie. So when it starts with Marty showing up into town, which we saw, and then it plays the movie basically of like Biff and George getting bullied. Then
which we saw that.
Undersea dance. Then you see and then they repeat that sequence over.
That's
and
awesome.
over.
Yeah.
So it is like watching the movie in a way.
Yeah, it was cool. And then they had a photo op and the actual DeLorean, which is your friend told us was theirs.
Yeah.
Which is apparently the same one that was sitting outside. Back in the 80s and 90s, they had a photo op with the DeLorean, but it was sitting outside for years in the elements and people were apparently taking things off of it, and so they luckily they finally pulled it off the lot, restored it, and then they had it open. They had a Einstein lookalike. The dog was in there, kind of lookalike. As close as they could get it. Still a cute dog. And he had
no dog shaming here.
No dog shaming, and he had the stopwatch around his neck. And behind him was a background of clocks like you see in Doc Brown's lab. In the opening of the film, and then you could sit there and take a photo. It was cool. It was a lot of fun. Yeah,
I think they did a really good job recreating key moments, and the actors there were doing such a great job. Everyone was in character, and we saw Biff and George McFly going at it, and the guy playing Biff was having just
so a blast. Good. And people were like, "Leave him alone, Biff." And he goes to people like, "Why should I, butthead?"
It was great interaction with everyone. They stayed in character the whole time.
I wish the town was more full of people,
populated.
Because on the tram ride, it was saying talking to the pedestrian, the people of the town, be careful. But there wasn't many people to interact with, so I felt like that. Future ones they could get more people dressed in the
because you saw. The mayor was there.
Goldie Wilson.
You had the
Strickland.
Strickland. Biff, George,
Biff's gang.
Biff's gang.
I didn't see Lorraine.
No,
I didn't see
Lorraine.
So I think they could just get, because they did have some people dancing for the band,
and then the little doo-wop group.
That was at the they're saying Mr. Sandman.
Gas station.
Gas station attendants.
I would get rid of that part, even though that was great, the performance, and I would turn that into the milkshake shop or the malt shop.
Right, I thought that they were going to have it,
and people could get milkshakes as well, but also maybe there's a little song and dance performance in there, like Cold Stone style.
What'd be cool is if somebody went up into the malt shop and was like, George, what's his name? Whatever he says, Harry, whatever, milkshake. And they shoot you a milkshake.
And then and for the Doc Brown clock tower scene, have maybe just a stunt double if the actor couldn't do it, but him zip line down.
I thought they were gonna have that too. Yeah,
it would have been cool. I think that would have been really cool. Easy stunt, but you just have it set up ready for him at the top of the tower when the fireworks go off.
And they also at the end. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just think it's a good idea. I think there's too many variables because you have so many people.
No, that is true.
Yeah.
There's not a clear path. So
if they sectioned off.
You'd have to do something like that. It'd be more of a stunt show kind of thing.
They also had the background of where the road on fire, the tire tracks were on fire.
Yeah.
They just had a matte painting of the theater. I was like, I was kind of hoping the theater would be back there, but
and then
I understand why they didn't do it.
Yeah. And I know it wouldn't make it, but I would. I mean, maybe this would be at the upper part where before you take the tram is you see the van of Libyans like right before you get on the tram. Like, we have to go to,
Or when you get on the tram, that should be like Twin Pines Mall, and then when
exactly.
you come back, it's
that'd be
Lone
really
Pines.
cool. I think that would be cool.
Like just have a sign that switched.
Yeah. Like even like above the before you get on the tram, you just see the Twin Valley Mall, and that would be cool.
Pine
so that Lone Pine Mall sign, that sign is still at the where they
at the mall,
where they filmed it,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was to me, just walking around the back lot was cool.
No, it was really cool.
If they had just had that in the DeLorean, I would have been happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. That's good. To me, that's good.
Would you in the future, would you want them to let you like sit in it though?
Of course, yeah. I'd love to do that. Yeah,
because they obviously had Einstein, or at least the Einstein lookalike, take pictures with and stuff. But like, that would be cool if they let you sit in there.
I get why they don't, though.
No, I get it.
Especially with like large groups.
Because you'd have to clean it each time after getting some people.
And that line was pretty long, so you want to get people in front of it, take a picture, move on.
But luckily the line moved fast.
Yeah,
it was
pretty quick.
It was quick. Yeah.
And they had like a little concession stand. They had concession stands if you wanted to buy drinks, but they also had like a souvenir stand, which had the Marty's pink shirt from the third one, his cowboy shirt.
Yeah, and then the hoverboard. Like wallets, which were kind of neat.
Right. That was,
or like that'd be a cool thing. Like each year they do a different of the trilogy, different one of the.
See,
trilogy.
I would like more of a celebration of all three movies.
I was hoping we get that.
We did. It was mostly the first movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see some. Like I was saying, like I would love to see the Pepsi containers from the second one.
That'd be cool.
For sale, or stuff from number 2. Like you have the dehydrated pizzas.
Yeah.
So you order pizza, it shows up like this, and then it comes back.
No, yeah,
cooked.
there's plenty of things
there's things you could do, or like even with 3, like have the time train there, which would be great.
Oh, that'd have been awesome. Dude.
Just little
little things like
just
that.
because they've got the trains. It's like they've got trains on site. Just do it up like the time train.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good experience. It's probably like I don't want to say the weaker one of them. That's bad. That's a bad term, but it was definitely the most, I guess, simple one.
It was the biggest area.
Yeah.
So I get they were trying to do a lot with
what they
probably
had
same budget that they had on every other area.
Right. So after that, we took the tram back, and Chad, you were talking about interacting with actors. There was an actor up there that you could interact with, which was the Save the Clock Tower woman, who was pretty cool. She was from the movie. She's collecting signatures
and donations to save
the clock tower, and you could speak to her and interact with her, and then she would give you a flyer with apparently you could go back down on your way to the lot and talk to the mayor about it.
So, and try to plead with him, and it's like character building stuff. Which is fun.
Yeah. And she was played by a good friend of mine, Melissa Musial, very talented
Shout out to Melissa.
actress.
Yeah.
And it was just funny to see her face as I was there to greet her and sign the petition to save the clock tower. So that was I didn't think she was going to be there because when we first got in line for FanFest and Julie brought up some video, and I guess they have multiple people playing the old lady, and I saw the costume and I was like, oh, I think I saw my friend wearing that in a video somewhere, and I was like, oh, maybe this is where it is from. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I didn't expect her to be there when we were there, but she was, and I was like, oh, this was a fun experience to get to interact with her there. So
yeah, it was fun. She looked at you and she said, "Don't I know your mother?"
Yeah,
started kind of like she almost broke. Yeah.
But no, great job. I mean, I know
Absolutely.
she probably doesn't listen to this here, but she did a great job.
Yeah, she was really good with it. Yeah. And then so we took the tram back up the escalators.
Yes.
And we hit up the Star Trek experience next, which was a lot of fun. And that was based mostly around the Enterprise D, Next Generation.
Yeah. So it's like straight out Picard of the Enterprise D is in the museum. So it's a museum exhibit of Enterprise D.
Yeah, and apparently they use that set for the latest season of Picard, season 3 of Picard, where they bring back the Enterprise D. And it was really cool. So it's you walk into, it's the old Walking Dead experience set, which I love that ride. That maze, I'm so sad they got rid of it. But it's that same building you walk through, and you are on a museum tour of the Federation ship museum, which we saw in Picard season 3. And anomaly shows up and begins to threaten you, and you got to go through and you got to jump onto the Enterprise D to kind of get away. And there's actors in Federation uniforms kind of guiding you through. You go into sickbay. Next thing, okay, hang out here. Oh, there's more trouble going to engineering, and they have a small scale mock up of the warp core for Enterprise D, and it's smoking, and it was like catching Chad in the face. Yeah,
Chad got blasted by some antimatter.
Some antimatter, like you're dead, dude. Yeah, so then we were in the engineering room, and like I said, they had a small mock up of the warp core.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome. I was like, oh shit, it's the warp core. So like I was taking pictures in front of it, and then the ship was kind of rattling around because of this entity that was attacking us, and both and the engineers in the control room were like, oh my god, the warp core is overloading, and Watson and I were like, eject the core, eject the core.
Because we watch Star Trek. That's what
you're
supposed
to do. Yeah,
it's supposed to do. It's protocol.
Exactly. Now you're stuck out there. You got no warp anymore, but whatever. You can signal for help.
Exactly. Got an impulse.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be all right. And then the final room is the bridge of the Enterprise D, which was awesome. As soon as I walked out, I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like,
they put you on the turbo lift, and then
the turbo,
the turbo was supposed to take you to Shuttle Bay, but instead you end up on the bridge.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, actually, the turbo lifts are not designed this way in Enterprise D. They're the dimensions are wrong.
Wow. They say that there's some things that got compensated for in the museum, so they cover their butts.
So we walked down to the bridge, which was awesome. Unfortunately, you couldn't. Like we had done a photo shoot, like a photo opportunity before this outside of Quark's Bar, which is one of their regular restaurants that they turned into Quark's Bar. They had the Enterprise, the captain's chair out there where you could take a picture. You couldn't go on. I was really hoping that they would at least let you walk up to it, like the captain's chair. They didn't. They had railing. They had like a railing up and personnel standing there, making sure that nobody accidentally wandered in there. I told you guys, I was like, I don't know, I'd be kind of tempted this towards the end of the night, jumping the railing and just sitting there and be like, take my picture real quick before we got kicked out. But it was awesome.
I mean, like, I was hoping the start, I mean, that was fun, but I was hoping it would be, the Star Trek experience would be more like, Back to the Future, where you could walk around.
So did I.
And like, you're not pushed through each. Like I wanted to enjoy, and maybe like you interact with the part of the crew and stuff, and you could ask them questions. And
I thought it was more like, so back in the 80s. I don't know if you guys remember at Universal, they had the Star Trek stunt show. Which was very much like it was a theater experience. You walk in, and they would pick people out of the audience.
They had Klingons.
And you could go and fight Klingons on set. Oh, wow. They would hang you from wires. And you could do a little like fake. Wow. And then like they would video you, and you could go home with a video cassette.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I have a buddy who actually did it as a kid, and they have the video. So I thought it would be something like that. And then what it turned out being was more like in Vegas, they had at the Hilton, they had a Star Trek experience. You remember this?
Oh yeah.
And it was the same kind of thing where you walked in, you were beamed onto the Enterprise, and the whole thing was like you were a descendant of a great leader in the future, and the Borg were going to kill you. But they didn't know which one of the group was the descendant kind of thing. So it was a lot of fun. I thought they did a great job with they could have yet again like done it kind of on the cheap and just had guys in Starfleet outfits, but they had like full on, like you saw a Vulcan, Andorian, they had different races represented. So a lot of makeup and stuff and time went into it, and you were like, oh, all right.
No,
Bajoran, right?
Yeah, Bajoran was on there. She was one of the medical personnel.
Yeah.
It looked legit. Like the bridge itself looked amazing.
Well, that bridge is from Picard.
Yeah,
that's the actual screen used one. So it might be another reason why they wouldn't let you go.
Yeah, exactly. Still awesome.
Mess around with it.
Yeah, I was really tempted to just jump it.
Yeah,
sit on it. Take a picture.
That was the one thing in Vegas with the experience was they let you actually, like, after you did the whole experience, you did get to take pictures on the bridge.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of wish it could have done that too.
And all of that was cool.
Yeah.
It's just like, also, what if outside the building that they have all that in, there's people, a part of the crew. You know how in past Star Trek, they went through time or they went to Earth and they kind of interacting with people that don't know about Starfleet and all that stuff. So that'd be interesting to see them walking around like where are you? You're they're calling you an alien or something or whatever. I don't know. I just think there could be more interaction with that because I enjoyed it, but I felt like I was just pushed through and I was like, okay, that's over.
Yeah.
I also wish we could have seen more races. I wish we could have seen Klingons.
Yeah, I mean that's a.
Somehow they would have worked that in somehow. Yeah, it would have been cool to see that.
Like because it felt they're contained to that one building. It's like they could have an area outside of it, like just a small. Maybe it's a lunch area,
right?
Where it's like the mess hall with all the aliens.
Well, yeah, I mean they could have had guys in costume like Klingons at like Quark's bar or at 10 Forward. We could have had some Ferengi there.
That would have been awesome.
Neat.
Yeah. They had
a drunk slush.
Yeah.
Starfleet can go kiss my parka.
Yet again, they did that. They did that in Vegas for the Star Trek experience. Was you'd walk into like Quark's bar and there'd be aliens just hanging out.
Yeah.
Or who owned the casino? Like
that was the Hilton.
That was.
The casino.
In Star Trek, I forget the alien
Quark.
Quark. Quark. Like Quark's casino, that'd be cool to walk into. Even though you
lay
wouldn't
down
really
some latinum.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't really gamble, but you could probably watch the actors like gamble around the table.
Do something like that,
like that.
Someone gets stabbed in the heart like Picard.
Someone poisoned my drink.
No.
Starts laughing.
It was a great experience. It was fun. Like you said, I wish they had had more, but it was. To me, it was worth it just to see the bridge and feel like you're on the bridge. It's awesome. But then we ate at Quark's bar, tried some of their Quark themed food. It's pretty interesting.
Quarkzine,
yeah. And then we ended up going to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
We were actually apparently we were gonna kind of skip it. Like it's like it's not based on the movie, it's on the game, whatever. Maybe we'll check it out. Maybe won't. Went up with your friend. He was like, "No, definitely check it out. They put a lot into it." So we went down to the lot again.
I thought we were leaving.
Yeah.
So I bought Simpsons big donut,
massive donut,
and I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess we're going down for something."
Yeah. Then I'm like, "Oh no, we're gonna go check out the D&D experience now."
Yeah.
And Chad had to bring his massive donut with him because he thought we were leaving, and then it started to melt inside the box.
I was just like, okay. Could have waited, I guess, but
yeah, you could have. But oh well.
Yeah.
How badly melted was it when you got?
I mean, it wasn't too bad. It was just like a little off the top, but it's a donut. Who cares?
But we ended up. So we went down and then checked out the D&D experience, which was pretty good, man. I think it was it's probably the strongest of all three of them as far as like the work they put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you? Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if. Maybe they need speakers in there because I could not hear a word they were saying.
Right, yeah.
Like I maybe caught one or two, but it was just like
they didn't have any microphones. They were just kind of shouting at each other.
I thought one of them did, but
they were lavalier, but yeah, I think it was a bad mix in there because they also had like the music playing really loud
and then effects going off. And stuff, so
there's a lot going on. I mean, like so, it's I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, really well
done.
How they split the groups up.
The concept, the concept is so when you walk in, there's different logo like areas on the floor, and what you find is each one is a different like class set. Like when you're playing D&D, so there's a class like the rogues, the fighters, the clerics, and the wizards. And so based on where you're standing, we ended up being in the cleric group, and they have two characters that you get split off in. So the fighters go with one, the clerics and wizards go with another, depending on what side of the room you're on.
One was a bard, and the other was a
tiefling. Tiefling fighter, by the name of Elvira,
something like that. Yeah.
Anyway,
and Watson was just drooling the entire time.
Listen, I'm not gonna say she awoken something away in me, but yeah,
but she did.
She did. Well, especially when she yelled at me, I was like, oh, okay.
That's right. Yeah, because you cheered for the bard.
I cheered for the bard.
She's like, "Don't cheer for him," and she pointed at you.
Yeah. I was like, "Yes, mommy." Yeah.
But yeah,
if you're thinking I have a type, yeah, I do.
Apparently so. Yeah. It's a tiefling.
It's 6 foot tall woman with horns.
There you go. And a tail.
And a tail.
But they were taking us through different rooms that each had a little bit of story, and they had to interact with something in the room to trigger something for the next.
Yeah, there was like puzzle elements to it, and it was like the whole storyline was they're looking for this magic staff, the dragon staff, and it's in the possession of a beholder, which is one of the creatures with multiple like eye stalks, who's a war god or like
something like that,
So you have to go fight him, and so when you go through to this one room where there's a puzzle to find the doorway. There's a dragon that's blowing stuff up around you, so you're seeing like try to get through out of that room as fast as you can before the dragon destroys it. So it's not really, you don't see the dragon, but it's like a projection of a dragon on the roof, which is kind of neat. And then you get to the beholder, and it's this fantastic.
It looked amazing. It's like 6 feet.
It's actually a Jim Henson puppet. Up on there, and
it's like 6 feet wide, and it was like 8 feet tall. I mean, it's huge.
And with glowing eyes and everything, and shoot like beams
moving
out
mouth.
of it, and
Holy
it was
shit.
beautifully done. Great animatronic, and it looked great. And so you get the staff from it, and you get away, and then you meet an evil sorceress who it wants to steal it away from you guys at the end. So it was a fun little storyline. It wasn't. I think it was just the right amount of time. Like I think it went for we were there for like
15 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. So I think it was just enough time where you don't feel like, yet again, unlike Star Trek, where you feel like you were just kind of rushed through. This, like they took their time. They built a story arc out. It was fun.
Yeah. It was really good banter between the two characters. Yeah, they were like making fun of each other and talking shit.
So I was like, I was digging it.
Me too.
Yeah, no.
We stepped into a room that was full of treasure. Yeah, it looked amazing. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and for something that we weren't even going to do, I'm like, I'm so glad we ended up doing it.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
And I met my future wife there.
You did. You did, yeah. What if she just showed up right now in full costume?
This podcast would be done. You wouldn't see me or hear from me again.
And since you brought up the different classes you could be when you were brought in, that it didn't really come into effect.
I wish.
But a way they could have done that is like when they've had to go room to room, and like maybe they, the people they announce before it starts.
Right.
The people have to look for their symbol in the room.
That would be good.
It's this way, and then like, okay, that's the thing that opens this, and then they could you could kind of be part of it a little bit or something. I think that might have been
because you're right. It just kind of. In some rooms, just be like...
It just kept us in groups, really.
Yeah, and you had to shout out a bunch of stuff. No, what was it? It was like, you got to taunt the creature.
Yeah, the Beholder came out, everybody's like, taunt him. We all started booing him. And,
to give bardic inspiration.
Like that, it would have been great if they gave us like a phrase to say instead of just boo, because boo is just like, all right, he's not a stand-up comedian.
Right,
It's like, but like, it would have been nice, like, by Gafalder's hammer. I don't know, something,
Something, I know what you mean.
But still, that was a fun experience there.
What were some of your ideas that you had, Chad? And we were like, oh yeah, that's a good one. Do you remember them?
For Dungeons and Dragons?
For the experience in general, FanFest. Didn't you say something?
We talked about the zip line.
Yeah, we did the zip line for. I'm not sure what else I mentioned.
There was another one that we were like, oh, that's a really good idea.
Was it another Universal property maybe that I brought?
Probably something like that.
Yeah, because like I think as much there are fans of Star Trek and Back to the Future and then Dungeons and Dragons, like there's so many properties Universal has that they can
Monster Squad.
There's Monster Squad. There's Fast and Furious. You could have a I don't know, maybe like there's a thing where people drag race remote control cars or something like that.
There you go.
See?
I mean, it's just like there's so many things you can kind of do.
Don't give away this.
Don't give away for free. Yeah.
Universal, you're gonna have to pay me.
That's right.
Get that cheddar.
Give me that cheddar.
But yeah, FanFest was great. The rest of the park was open. We went on the Jurassic Park ride. Watson couldn't do it because his tummy hurt. His
I
tummy hurt.
ate like 12 feet of corn dog
At Quark's Bar, yeah.
and
it was
covered in spicy
Flaming hot Cheetos dust, yeah.
Anything in hot Cheetos
that
is not
screwed
good.
me up for a good 24 hours. I'll tell you that.
I got a drink at the Quark's Bar, like an alcoholic drink,
Yeah.
the Andoran ale or whatever it was, and it was like a thimble full. I was
Yeah.
like, what? I paid like $12 for this?
Yeah.
15, whatever.
But
it
in
was.
space, the alcoholic content would be much stronger, so that's all you
Yeah,
needed.
it's true. It was like they had like this film around the rim of the glass, and it was like pop rock sugar.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I did the Andorian Hurricane,
Uh-huh.
which was a rum hurricane, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked for that because you could get it upgraded for like an additional
Yeah, I didn't
$5,
see that.
which got you a bigger glass.
Yeah, I didn't see
basically,
it. God
so,
damn it. Yeah.
I did that, and but then they just filled it with more ice. I was
course.
like, I'm drinking like 90% ice, and
Yeah,
like they
of
didn't
course.
have much. I didn't get a buzz out of it or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So
Well, if anything, you needed the extra water because of that corn dog. So.
oh boy,
It's true. It's true. I mean, was it good at least, the corn dog?
it was good.
I
Yeah,
thought
it was delicious.
Would you get it again?
Yes. I'd have to clear my schedule the next day, but yeah.
And then we went on the Jurassic Park boat ride,
Yeah.
and Chad absolutely looked so happy on that ride.
I mean,
Couldn't wait to go again.
Yep.
Okay. Well, no, because I know there's like a big drop at the end, and I don't like roller coasters or
Right.
Yeah.
heights and being dropped because we're not meant to fall.
Yeah.
That's true.
But no, I mean like the animatronics in there were cool and
Yeah.
everything. But the thing is, my head was waiting for the drop, so I didn't really get to enjoy
really?
the experience in
Yeah.
there. So it was just me getting sprayed with water as I was like, all right, it's about to come.
It's go time.
It's like when you go up the track, and I was like, all right, well, here it is. It's gonna, and then I did not like the drop. I thought it maybe it's not gonna be bad, but I was like, no, I
Was
didn't.
it bad?
Like
Was it
I
bad
was
for you?
outside and like I saw a few of the boats go down and
Yeah.
drop, and they were nice and easy and slow, and most of them had like 2 rows filled. That was about it. You guys came down so fast.
Yeah, well, we had
I was like, holy shit! Like they were
we were like 80%
plummeting.
full in that thing.
Yeah. So
but we were in the back, so I know to sit in the back because it doesn't get that wet.
Yeah.
But
So,
man, you were flying down that hill. Yeah.
And as when we go down, I already on that ride not to not get wet. You just duck down.
Yeah,
You should be okay. So I just put my hood on and ducked. Yeah. Chad did not do that.
but I didn't get wet from that last splash. It was mainly the stuff spraying me.
So it was just mist that was.
So it was
hitting
just
us,
like okay.
Yeah.
It was, But no, it was a cool ride and stuff like that. But I probably wouldn't do it again. Just
Yeah.
because. And then the seats were already wet, so I was like, oh, nice. I get
Yeah.
that.
Well, that sucked.
And you got to walk through Harry Potter and Mario
Yeah.
Land as well.
Yeah, what'd you
Like,
think of those?
Mario Land looked really cool. It's just like I don't know. It just didn't seem like there was anything I really wanted to interact with there.
Right.
I don't know what it was that I couldn't really. I was it was cool. It was
Yeah.
cool to see.
It's definitely built for kids. so.
If anything, I would have loved to see characters walking around. Like you don't really.
They
I
have,
mean,
like,
they do have
beat-ups, yeah. I
but
mean,
they
Princess Peach.
they
and,
close them off and you
yeah,
can't really.
yeah.
It's
So
a photo op, and it takes a long time to get.
So
to
it's just like you should have characters walking around. Like that would be key to
Do they have
speed
somebody dressed as Mario, like a human? I've
They
never seen
do.
it.
They have a
Okay.
Mario and Luigi pops out.
Oh,
and
that's sweet.
Do a
Yeah.
photo.
Are they wearing like a big head or
Yeah,
are they
big head.
dressed? Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not. Oh, it's a person with a big head.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
okay.
like full on suit.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and same with like Yoshi and Princess
Yeah.
Peach, that kind of thing.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's. What did you think of the? I mean, Mario Land is. It's okay. Yeah, it's definitely like you said. It's for kids.
Yeah.
The ride is okay. It's like a shooting kind of game.
Yeah, it's very like it's
Yeah.
kind of like the Spider-Man ride at
Yeah.
California Adventure.
It's kind of cool because you have to wear like a visor that's like the hat and some glasses.
Like
Yeah.
VR goggles or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
pretty
like
much.
AI.
Yeah.
Oh no, what's that called?
Augmented reality.
Augmented
Yeah.
reality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's it's okay. I mean, it's a little weird because you're like, it's how grimy are these glasses going to be? And they're
Yeah.
pretty grimy. Yeah.
Well, and also it's like you're supposed to be like, much like Mario Kart, you're driving and shooting stuff out.
Right.
And so on your glasses, it's giving you a little like a heads up display of like aim here, aim there.
Yeah.
And you're trying to turn the wheel. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. But it's an okay ride. The queue is really cool through the ride. The queue is I think the queue is better than the ride.
Yeah, that's one thing they do really well at Universal too. It's like same with like Harry Potter, like going the Hogwarts ride, like going through
Hogwarts
the castle.
ride is gorgeous.
Well,
the queue,
for not non-ride wise for the Mario Park, I would think you'd want to make the place a maze. Like you walk in, like different tunnels lead into different part. The underground part of the levels where it's like and it's playing that music, or you walk into like you didn't get all of that, and I think there was cool things that were like the game, but it was like they could do so much more.
Yeah,
with
if
that.
they had more space, they could.
There's more space. They would need more space, obviously, for more stuff. But
they've been trying to buy the golf course that's next to them for apparently 20 years. And they haven't been able to. Yeah,
and I'm sure there's more characters for Hogwarts walking around during the day because we were near the end of the night.
So they opened it not last year, but the year before that, they opened it for Halloween Horror Nights as a scare zone. Yeah, and they had the Death Eaters, Death Eaters, Dementors, something like that. I think Death Eaters.
Yeah,
right.
That sounds right. Yeah,
they had them walking around. It was pretty cool. They had the masks on. And
I mean,
pretty dope. Yeah.
That's what I was kind of expecting to see that or like, but there wasn't many people around, so I was like, it's probably the end of the night, and it's
minimal crew and everything.
Minimal. Yeah, so. I was like, but no, it was still cool to see all the buildings and the castle in the background there. So no, it was pretty neat.
Nice.
Yeah. So the ride is pretty cool. I wish it's just seen the queue through the castle for the ride. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's like an outdoor area that's like a greenhouse kind of thing, which is pretty dope. And I know you wouldn't like the ride because it does. It even gets me a little queasy, and I got a pretty strong stomach. But it's like it does go up and down, left and right a lot.
Yeah.
So
and you're looking at screens all
the time. You're playing Quidditch basically.
Yeah, no.
It is a little offsetting. Yeah. So, but if you ever get a chance to check it out at least once, see if your stomach can handle it.
Take some.
I'm just sad you didn't get any butterbeer, man, because we went to. They had two stalls of butterbeer in that area. One was shut down. Yeah. Both lines were open, but then one line shut down, so it was like this huge line to get. And I was like, it's just.
Well, I've had bottled butterbeer from like a store, but is it different from the draft?
Better.
It's definitely better. It's definitely better.
Okay,
yeah, it's definitely better.
So you like the hot butterbeer, right?
No, I like the cold.
Oh, cold.
The frosted one.
Oh, I think Julie said she liked the hot. So.
But yeah, it's a cool little area back there, and at least you got to experience it once.
No,
So, but yeah, FanFest, a lot of fun.
I think all in all, I think the experience was really cool and fun. So I hope it keeps going every year. I hope it gets bigger and better.
Yeah, I was about to say, I hope they add more properties.
Do
the Universal Monsters. That'd be dope.
I think they're trying to not do anything Halloweeny though.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the one thing because like Jaws is Universal.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
Or right?
Yeah.
Okay, and for the Jaws ride, the boat thing that takes you around and Jaws pops out. I mean, like the guy on the boat with you should be Quint, like just telling you the story of the
drunk
delivering the bomb, and no, I mean that would be great to.
140 men went to the sea.
Exactly.
You are the Chiro chief.
And then
go down to the lower lot and get a Chiro chief.
And he I know they don't do the berating guests anymore with the characters, but like it could be more lighthearted. But like, look at those. You've been counting money all your, just something playfully, like not derogative in any way, but like it would just be playful of Quint just insulting.
Oh, and we were surprised that Waterworld was closed.
Waterworld was closed, yeah. Which was surprising.
Yeah, because that would have been full.
I know one of the suggestions we made, which I've thought about before. In the past times that I've been there, going through the Simpsons land, they should have like an actual comic book store where they and have like a guy dressed up as the comic book guy.
Yeah,
talking smack to you. Yeah. Freaking kids.
Freaking.
Yeah, because I mean,
Chief Wiggum walking around. Yeah, cans. The I would love to see. I don't think it is Universal at all, but replace Waterworld All right, get ready. With Face Off, the boat chase scene. And just have those, just it jumps the boat after it explodes, and then they have their fight on the beach, and with the spear gun and everything. That'd be great.
What am I about to say? Because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So you want to replace a 1994 property with a 1996 property?
Yeah, it's updated. Got to get updated, man.
Whenever you look into the mirror, you're going to see my face.
Kids will love it.
It'd be great.
Kids,
Yeah.
they'll get it. They'll get it.
get
They'll
it.
get the reference. They'll get the reference. You know? Because it shows it's a mainstay of American
They'll
culture.
do a little plane sequence from the beginning of the movie. And
Yeah.
they'll be like, if I could eat a peach for hours. And the dialogue like that coming through speakers. Talking to,
Be awesome. Be awesome.
it's money in the back, baby.
Money. So FanFest, yeah, I like you said, I hope they expand it. I hope they do it every year. The tickets were apparently pretty cheap, which is good.
and
there was hardly anybody there. We went on
it
Friday.
wasn't
There was
that
that many
packed,
people.
and
Yeah.
we got to do everything that they
Yeah,
were
man.
advertising. Oh, we didn't even talk about like the Luffy stuff, like the
Right,
anime
yes.
And
section.
Jutsu
Yeah.
Kaisen.
Yeah,
Jujutsu
they
Kaisen.
they had the Straw Hat pirates there.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. The characters are great, but we saw the guy playing Luffy was an actual person, just like in a costume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, we all felt bad because it was pretty chilly that night. And he's there just like in his vest.
But
Yeah.
he was
How's it
lively
going, man?
enough where I would think just jumping around like his
Probably
character
warm
has
up a
to
bit,
be
yeah.
warm about.
Oh, and they had characters from Wicked as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh,
there
yeah.
for,
Glinda
photo.
has
Yeah.
a photo op. Yeah, we were kind of worried about her because it was chilly.
It
and
was cold. Yeah.
and she's tiny, that actress. So
Yep.
Just put her in a bubble.
That's right.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
She'll stay warm in there.
Stay warm. Yeah.
Lock that thing.
And she
Hot
starts
box
like,
it.
she starts. Yeah, it starts suffocating. FanFest, check it out. It's I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, did you guys have a good time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A great
Awesome,
time.
good. I'm glad you guys came out.
Yeah.
That was a surprise. It was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I think it's running till the end of the month. Or
Yeah, until the end of May.
somewhere in
yeah.
there. So go check it out if you
Yeah,
get
go
a
check it
chance.
out. And it's a
Yeah.
separate thing. We had to wait until then. They pretty much cleared out the park and they open at 7:30, I believe.
Yeah, I mean we got in
So,
line. We're
yeah.
at 6:30.
Yeah.
And
Wasn't that
Yeah.
bad. Yeah. Good food, good drinks. Yeah, check it out. And then recently going to larger properties. Watson saw Thunderbolts.
Yes, a little
Thunder,
movie.
thunder, thunder, thunderbolts.
A little independent movie.
Little tiny. It was budget under 10 million.
Yeah, crack
Yeah,
it.
crack
We're
the
gonna
crack.
crack it.
Oh, this is brought to you by Coke Zero. Thunderbolts brought to you by Coke Zero.
Also brought to by our sponsor day, BetterHelp. No,
Me undies.
the undies.
Yeah, we'll take it all. We'll
Indochino.
take any of these sponsors, to be honest.
Absolutely.
We'll be shells for anyone.
The dragon dildos, you could do those.
Sure. As long as they pay us.
They got to sell
We
something.
gotta pay, yeah. As long as I don't know if that would be our demographic, but sure, why not?
It probably wouldn't, but
Yeah. We see that Venn diagram of the crossover of Enter the Nerdom folk and Dragon Dildo.
Dragon dildos.
Wars.
Hey, fuck it, we'll take it. Just pay us that cheddar.
give it, anything for money.
Yeah, 2025, we are just
Money,
we're shameless.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you checked out Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I went Thunderbolts this weekend.
So, Chad, you haven't seen it?
I have not seen it.
I really don't care about Marvel that much anymore.
right.
Unfortunately, it's just,
this one's a good Marvel.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I've been hearing good things, man.
It's,
What
I'm
I'm
do
going
you
to try
think?
and see it this week. So.
Yeah, it's got lots of shades of like Phase 1 Marvel
Okay.
feel to it. It's very kind of a lower budget, very insulated storyline.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, yes, there's a little bit of end of the world stuff going on, but not really. Like, it's mostly a movie about self-worth and trauma, and it takes this group of characters. I mean, I will say there's a little bit of like you're gonna have to watch some TV shows to get where this movie is at.
Really? Which
Like,
ones?
Big one would be Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, come on.
Because the character U.S. Agent is
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, well, that's
John
true.
Walker's
Yeah.
in there. Bucky's.
But I mean, do you have to finish it in order to understand where those two are coming from?
I kind of do.
I mean, you could probably find someone on YouTube that
there's
summarizes
yeah.
it.
summarized
Yeah.
clip.
Yeah.
Black Widow, the Black Widow movie plays a
Right.
big part because of
Red,
Florence
Guardian.
Pugh is in there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Red Guardian, and their relationship, and it's real.
And Taskmaster.
Yeah, sure. Yes,
So I've heard.
the
yeah.
biggest character in the movie. Yeah.
So I've heard, yeah.
Some great scenes.
The trailer kind of gave away what happened here. But yeah, go ahead.
So it's really Florence Pugh's movie. Like she's really the protagonist. She's the one you start with, and you see her. We are now moving forward with the storyline. So this is now 2 years after Endgame, Blip, and all that stuff. And so Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson is gone, and you're seeing her sister just kind of doing day to day, like going through these missions that she's being sent out by Valentina, played by
Mary Dreyfus.
Yes, thank you. Like she's getting sent off of these black op missions, but she's not really into it. Like she's very just like going day by day. Stepping through these things, and she's kind of a lost character, and so Valentina is the head of the CIA, and she's got all these black ops missions that she's running. And Congress is kind of getting whiffs about her doing all this stuff off book. And Congress is one of the people trying to pin her down is Congressman Bucky Barnes. Because if you saw, Captain America: Brave New World,
that's right. Yes,
Bucky is now a congressman.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I heard about yes.
Yeah. So, and one of his big things is he wants to take her down. Don't worry, that storyline gets dropped real quick.
Of course.
He's a congressman for about 5 minutes, and then he's suited up and gonna take on bad guys. But Valentine is starting to like destroy any evidence that can get her in trouble, right? So she decides to take all of her black ops people that she's been sending on missions and send them to one place and pay them, give them missions to off each other. So, Black Widow thinks she's there to take out Ghost. Ghost is there to take out U.S. Agent. U.S. Agent's there to take out Taskmaster. And none of them know that they're all working for the same person.
Okay.
So there's a little punchy, fighty in this facility. We see U.S. Agent very quickly takes out Taskmaster, like just shoots her in the head.
Really?
It's like within the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Wow.
I
thought it was the villain that took her out.
No, it's very much they're fighting and she takes a shot. Yeah, it's really sad when you think about like if you've seen Black Widow movie, like what that character's been through. Like she's like, she was brainwashed at like 14 and like basically like sex trafficked like to become this assassin. And she gets killed like with no fanfare, nothing. It's just very much like collateral damage kind of thing. And in doing, they're in this facility and there's a scuffle and they knock over a like cryo tube kind of thing, and you meet Bob, who is just guy in like a hospital robe kind of thing, and who doesn't really have a memory about how he got there or whatever, and the whole building is set as like an incinerator, so it's going to destroy all the evidence, So they decide they have to work together to get out of the building. They accomplish this, and while they're trying to escape, Red Guardian is running a limousine service in DC, and so he is actually like the driver for Valentine, and she's talking about like taking out these assets, and so he hears about it and like goes to go rescue his daughter, Yelena, Black Widow, and so they all meet up in the desert, and they're escaping the forces that Valentine sent a bunch of soldiers basically to take him out because she realized that they escaped the facility. And in doing so, like, Red Guardian shows up to save them, and then Bucky shows up because he's like, look, I need evidence against her. You guys are all that's left. She's destroyed everything else. I need you guys to testify against her. So they kind of, get together to do that. And at the same time, Bob kind of does a little sacrifice play to like, so they're trying to get away from these soldiers, and Bob like runs off and starts like shooting a machine gun in the air, like, hey, chase me kind of thing. And he gets like, plowed down by a bunch of bullets, and like, just gets supposedly looks like he's killed, but then he gets up and you see that he is bulletproof, and his eyes kind of glow a little gold, and he flies off into the air, and then crash lands, and Valentine grabs him and puts him in another cryotube and takes him to her new facility in New York, which was Avengers Tower. She bought the building from Tony Stark, and is setting up. So you find out that she is part of this company that's been experimenting to try and make a new super soldier, basically, that she can control. This Project Sentry, and Bob is the only survivor. Like, everyone else that tried this has died, and they're like, well, Bob, has this. He was a drug addict and suffers from like multiple personalities, like DID, and so somehow he survived the process and is given him like almost godlike powers. But they in his files is like, but he has problems with like mentally. He the more powered he gets, more like he realizes how much of a god he is. Like, the more dangerous he becomes. And there's a dark side to him, like another personality that can come out, which he calls the Void. And if the Void shows up, it's like the more power he gets a Sentry, the more likely the Void will show up. And the Void is just darkness, and just it wants inherently evil, basically. And so, Valentine gets her like. She's like, okay, we got Bob. Like, we're gonna dress him up as a hero. We're gonna have a press conference. It's gonna clear my name and say this is what we're working on as a new savior for the world, kind of thing. Because at this point, there is no Avengers. There's no one left. So they do Bob up in the full Sentry outfit. The Thunderbolts show up with Bucky to arrest Valentine, and she's like, what are you guys gonna do? Like, you guys are the worst. Like, you're the worst team ever. You just punch and kick people. Like, none of them have powers. Like, Ghost can phase through things, but that's about it. Everyone else has like slightly enhanced strength.
Sure.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
So she like tells Sentry to take him out, and you see this fight. I mean, it's not even a fight scene, really. It's like all of them just it's the 100 men versus a gorilla scene. It's just all of them trying to pile on this guy, and he's not even bothered by it. Like, they're stabbing at him, they're throwing their best punches at him, they're riddling him with bullets, and it's just like it's nothing to him. He's just like, he's got super strength, he can fly, he's got like telekinesis, he's got like heat beams coming out of his eyes, like burning up the guns. Like, it is like absolutely nothing, and so he handles them real easily, and then has that moment where she's like, okay, now you did that, now go kill them, kind of thing. And he's like, why do I have to listen to anything you have to say? Right. I'm a god. And she's like, well, you're not a god. You're not a god. And he's like, you said I'm better than the Avengers, and one of them is a literal god. Like, I think I'm better than a god, kind of thing. And she kind of realizes that like she's losing control of him real quick. But they put a failsafe into his brain, like a kill switch. And Val's assistant like blows the kill switch to take him out, and you see him like hit the deck, and he looks dead. But then you see his eyes like open up, and they're completely black, jet black. His body totally like morphs into an old black version of him, and this character, the Void, shows up. Now, what the Void can do, and we see it in the trailers where he like aims his hand at people and they just become like a shadow. And so you see him flying above New York City, just this shadow just emanating from him and decimating just streets of people, just row and row after people. And like, you see it's a cool sequence because you see the Thunderbolts, they're completely defeated by this character. They're outside, they're all beat up, and then they see like, because Valentine's trying to send his troops to take care of him, like to get rid of the Sentry, and Sentry's just swining away like flies, right? And so their helicopters are hitting buildings and stuff, and stone is falling down on the crowd, and the Thunderbolts like save the people. You see them be heroic and actually take the time to clear the street. You know, it's, I mean, like you said, it's not like save the world. It's literally like, we're going to hold this block.
Yeah, do what you can.
Yeah. And through the course of the movie, every time Bob interacts, like, there's this great relationship between Florence Pugh and Sentry, because he's like a very lost soul, you know, for the most part. He doesn't remember much.
Yeah.
And then when he starts remembering, she's like, hey, like, don't worry about it. Like, I can, you know, I'll help you through this kind of thing. But when he touches their hands, or if he holds their hand, or you get touched by him, it kind of it does like a flashback, and you see like their worst fear, like worst memory. So for her, you see like the first kill she had to make as a child, you know, for the Red Room was like she had to kill a friend. And then for like John Walker, like he, you know, he kind of makes fun of Bob like through the whole course of the movie, like, come on, Bob. And then like Bob grabs him, and you see him, and he's home with his kid, and his kid is crying. And he's not even paying attention to the child. Like, he's just sitting there doom scrolling on his phone, looking at, like, picture him when he was Captain America. You know, like, so it's this whole PTSD, you know, all the characters are broken, right, in many different ways. And Bucky, the good thing about Bucky in this is he's, you know, if you watch Falcon Winter Soldier, you see him going through therapy, right? For his acts as the Winter Soldier, like it's him making penance through that show. And so he's kind of like the voice of reason. He's like, yeah, you guys are all fucked up, but it's okay. Like, we can work through this kind of thing. And so, so as Sentry or the Void is now kind of destroying the city, you know, Yelena, Black Widow, decides to just walk into the Shadow Realm, you know, like, because she realizes like he's not killing people. He's like, their bodies are gone, right? So she just walks straight into the shadow and realizes, like, ends up in her worst nightmare kind of thing, right? Reliving the death of her friend over and over again, and then she kind of has to get through that memory and like heal herself basically to find Bob. And you find the real Bob as he's almost like a child state in a room, and you see like he's like watching his parents like fighting in the kitchen underneath kind of thing, and he's like in the attic. And she's just like basically saying, like, she realizes like they can't fight him, like he's a powerful god basically. So she has to connect with Bob and be like, you can beat the Void, like you're stronger than that entity, because he's like, I just stay up here until the Void is done, and then, you know. And she's like, you're stronger than this, you know, like. And so they go in to find the Void inside this mind palace kind of thing. And the other Thunderbolts show up, you know, they all kind of rally together inside the shadow dimension. And you see this version of the Void, and Bob goes and starts just wailing on him, starts like beating him up, like, you know, I have control kind of thing. And as he's hitting him, the more he's hitting him, the more the darkness is taking over him. And it's Yelena realizing, like, no, this is not the way. Like, you're not supposed to beat this thing up. You have to embrace it. Like, you have to know that the darkness is a part of you. So she like wraps her arms around him, and all the Thunderbolts come and like wrap their arms around him. And it's this beautiful moment of like, it's, I did not expect this movie to go there, but it's really just about healing, you know,
from trauma.
From trauma. Yeah. The whole movie is. And yeah, so, you know, they come out of this state, and Bob has no memory of it. Like, that's the thing. Like, he comes back as Bob. Like, he's not Sentry or the Void. He's just kind of regular Bob again, but he has no memory of like any of that happening. Because the more memory he builds, the more he becomes a Sentry again, which releases the Void. So, and that's when they go to take on Valentine again. They're like, you're done, you know, everyone's okay, you know. And she runs around a corner, and she's made a whole press conference to announce the new Avengers. So they come out, and she's like, they saved the day from this creature of the Void, and here's the new Avengers, you know. And then, you know, like, Yelena realizes, like, she's like, yeah, we own you now, Val. Like, yeah, you're the public face of us, but we're calling the shots. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. It's a very tight movie. There's not a lot of like big scenes. Like it's not like they had like we got to get to this set piece to that set piece to this set piece, right? It's like a very internal movie with really well done characters, and I wish there was a little bit more variety in the group. Like, the one thing about the Thunderbolts comics is really great is like the groups are very varied in who they are and their abilities, and this is very much just we're shooty punchy people, and they make a joke about that, but because they've laid so much track with these characters, like you are like in for it. Like it's a good ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, yeah. I just I've the latest couple of Marvel projects kind of been kind of forgettable. So I was not in a hurry to watch.
I know this is doing okay. Like word of mouth of this is really great, but the numbers have been. I think opening weekend was 70 million they got, which is great, but still pretty low for a Marvel.
For a Marvel movie, depending on what they used to,
especially
what they used to pull in.
Yeah, for a May release,
So the budget was 180 and their box office currently is 170, which is not good at all.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely going to lose
I don't
money.
think it's going to I don't think there's really anything coming out this weekend.
No.
So I don't think it'll have a big decline. But yeah, I hope it does well because I really liked as a smaller movie. I think it was really well done.
Yeah, it seems very very compact. Like
yeah, it's there's not like huge cameos.
Right.
Like you're waiting for like Chris Evans to show up or something. Like none of that is in there.
No credit scene.
Yeah,
there's two after credit scene. One's kind of a joke where. Because they've announced as the new event, like the whole thing with Red Guardian is like he never got his due, right? Like even when he was the Red Guardian, like the Soviet soldier, like super soldier, they just ended up throwing him in a jail cell for like 20 years.
Yeah,
and so he never got the credit. So you see him walking through a it's like a grocery store, and there's a lady there looking at like. The boxes of cereal, and there's Wheaties, and there's the new Avengers on the Wheaties.
Gotcha.
And he's just kind of like, you want these are good, and he's like really like, it's me,
Yeah.
And she's like, cool, like,
Yeah.
And then the post after the credits scene is set, I think it says something like a year later, something like that, 14 months later, and it's them in their new role at like Avengers Tower. And they're trying to figure out. Apparently, there's a little bit of dialogue. It's a longer scene. It's about 2 minutes, and they talk about like how Bucky is trying to reach out to Sam, but apparently they're having a bit of a spat about who actually owns. Because Sam Wilson has registered the rights to the name Avengers, so they're like, well, it's like And then Red Guardian shows up with a T-shirt with like Avengers with a Z at the end, like we're Avengers with a Z, like. So and then so there's a blip on a monitor, and you see the Fantastic Four spaceship is coming through like an interdimensional breach.
Oh wow!
And that's where it ends.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a fun flick. I mean, a lot of the characters are very well fleshed out in this, and great, good performances all around. I think. So
Okay.
yeah, like I really love Florence Pugh in this.
Yeah, she's a great actress. Yeah,
she's better than Scarlett Johansson for me as Black Widow.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I think she brings a lot of emotion to the character.
Yeah. Gravitas.
Gravitas, yeah. And then even like Wyatt Russell as U.S. agent, really great.
Yeah.
Like he plays off really cocky at the beginning, and then you start to realize like how broken he is. As he was Captain America for 5 minutes, kind of thing.
I heard originally, like the original script, he was the bad guy of the movie.
Yeah. They were gonna.
That's interesting.
They were gonna give him a Hulk kind of storyline. Yeah, he was gonna like Hulk out, and they were like, "Oh, we just did that."
Yeah,
Captain America. So.
Yeah. Okay. So you recommend it, Watson?
I do. I think it's a good flick. It reminds me of like the Suicide Squad kind of deal. Like this is or Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like a group that shouldn't really be together, but they work really well together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would absolutely recommend it.
All right, I might go see it. I'm not
All right.
against it. I'm just like, kind of marveled out. But I mean, I want to go see the Fantastic Four for sure,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of people feel the same.
Yeah. I
So,
think that's going to be the big. I mean, it's coming out. What I think 2 weeks after Superman. So we'll see how the numbers are. If people are like superheroed out, I don't know. But
yeah, true. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Are you interested in seeing it, Chad?
Yeah, no, I was planning on seeing it earlier this week, but I just couldn't make time for it. So
yeah.
I'm gonna try and catch it this week or sometime.
Okay. And going on to another Disney property, we have Andor, which is it's just dropped 9 episodes.
Yes. We're
Of season 2.
Andor.
This show is still phenomenal. I mean, it's like we were texting each other earlier on the group chat, and to me, it's like I said, like it should be illegal how good this show is.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean, everything about it is just like the cinematography looks amazing.
Yeah.
The acting is amazing. The writing is amazing. The directing is amazing. I mean, the sound, everything. It's like this show. It's like one of the few perfect shows so far.
It's one of those shows too where it's like you could feel every world, everything they create feels lived in
because they film in real locations.
Real locations. They're not using the volume.
Yeah. They use CGI how it's supposed to be used, which is to punch up things,
right?
Not to replace things.
But even little things in the show, like the design of one of the last few episodes that is a major story point is the Gorman planet.
God, yeah.
And they have this love of spiders, and so you see even in the
weave
architecture,
they weave the silk they use for the fabric. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in the architecture, you see in like when he goes to the hotel, like the way everything is kind of like it looks like strands of silk.
Yeah.
That are together, and like everything's got this kind of woven design to it in the structures.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
It's like, so the Gorman storyline, they're based off the French. They even have they use a combination like French and like Turkish or something.
It's from what I heard, it's
Something
like French, Italian, and German.
Yeah, something
kind
like
of
that.
blended.
Yeah, and it's like, but you can definitely hear the French in it.
Yes,
and it's based. Even the Gorman city looks like Paris.
Yeah,
the rooftops, the designs of the buildings. They're big in the fashion industry.
Yes.
So major designers go there to get their fabric.
Yeah, everyone. If you go as a designer, you're supposed to take a trip there.
Right. Also, have you noticed like their stores have like this wooden, like the wooden alcoves carved into the side of them?
Yeah.
The detail in the show is incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Like I think each episode costs like over 150 million, which it shows. But
yeah,
it shows.
But it's all on screen.
But it shows. Yeah. Like there's a lot of shows that cost that much. I'm sorry, I'm going to pick on Amazon here with Lord of the Rings, another Marvel show, The Acolyte. A lot of expenses in these shows, but I don't always see it. You
don't feel it.
You don't feel it. Yeah, it doesn't. The worlds don't feel lived in. The costumes kind of look a little cheap.
Yeah.
But then you go to Andor and it's like you can see where every single cent went into.
Yeah.
You know, like just design. Okay, let's have these fabric stores that are supposed to be based off of Hermes and Gucci. Basically, that's what they're mirroring.
Yeah.
And the inside of these houses, the fashion industry houses,
the outfit
look
that
like it. Yeah.
Andor's wearing when he's
he's a fashion designer.
Vin Sky or something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
I want that out. That suit
looks so good, dude.
Was beautiful.
And
beautifully
then the bellhops in the hotel that he checks in.
I want. Give me that outfit, Disney.
So Gorman is based off the French, and it's based off their long history of revolution, off their long history of protests against their government, off the long history of resistance to the Nazis during World War II.
Yeah.
With the Maquis. And you can see...
Now that's Star Trek.
Oh, well,
I'm kidding.
I was about to say...
It's a Voyager pun, everybody.
Yeah.
Calm down. Put your pitchforks away.
Also DS9. They were in DS9, too.
That's right.
And Next Generation. Anyway, Chad's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, man, it's over my head.
Keep up with the Kardashians.
Yeah, exactly.
Or keep up with the Cassians, you mean?
Yeah. There's
one on the board.
Yeah. 100 comedy points to Chad.
Yes, to Chad. But these worlds feel lived in. But so the Gorman storyline is that the Empire needs the minerals that are underneath the planet.
Yes.
In order to they hint at designing the mirrors that project the power of the Death Star.
Right.
The
we don't know.
deflation.
Yeah.
We don't know.
They don't
But
tell
that's-
people that. But
That's basically what they're hinting at.
Yeah.
Something in the dirt. They literally
lenses,
say there's
yeah.
something in their dirt that the Empire needs. Right.
calcite.
Yeah. And so
Substrate
the problem is that a lot of it is under the Gorman City, which is like this very fashionable,
Yeah.
high-end, very popular vacation spot. So the rest of the galaxy will be very pissed if the Empire just moves in there and takes it.
Yeah,
by
they're going to
force.
strip mine the planet.
Strip mine the
basically. And
planet.
they said no one could live there afterwards.
Exactly. So it'd be like just again, it's going back to World War II. Imagine if the Germans said we're going to level Paris because we need
Right.
the resources underneath. Of course, people would be upset. So that's what the Empire needs. So the Empire begins to plot.
Yeah, it's the long game.
The long game. It's
the
false
years, yeah.
false flag operation where they are literally baiting and arming the population to rise up against them so they can use the excuse of the Empire being attacked to hit back and then say, well, it's a hostile planet. We now have the right
Terrorists,
to we now have the rights to what's underneath their feet, and we can do what we
We
want.
can do what we want.
So it's just like this entire plan. Deidre is involved in it.
Yeah.
She's a major cog in a big wheel, but she's not the main head of it.
No.
She's being directed by her superiors at the ISB to carry out this plan. Her boyfriend Cyril is also with her, who is
I'm going to talk about 45 minutes just about the Cyril storyline, man.
dude. It's
From soup to nuts. His story is bananas.
bananas. So he's as we see in this season, they are now together.
Yeah.
But it's a very strange dynamic between them.
Oh,
know,
is it?
Yeah. It's she definitely wears the pants both literally and figuratively in the
She has the
relationship.
horns and tails in that relationship.
Oh, yes, she
You know
does.
what I'm talking about. Turn off the lights.
Turn off the light. Yeah. He goes back to Coruscant for just a little bit. It's to their shared apartment, which we see they're now living together.
Yeah.
And we already discussed the previous episodes. But he goes to see her. He asks her how much. She says, "Why are you here? Do you have the risk that you've taken coming here?" Because he's working as a double agent.
They're supposed to have broken up.
They're supposed to have broken up, and he's a double agent on Gorman,
Yeah.
trying to convince the locals that he's turned against the Empire, where he's really feeding them information from the Empire so that they can carry out this plan.
Yeah.
And he goes and sees her at Coruscant to their place, and he's like, "How much time do I have?" She says, "An hour."
Yeah.
Like, "That's it? I traveled this entire time." She says, "Turn out the lights and
Yeah.
cut the scene." Oh, we're like, "Yes, outstanding." And even like the way that she is with him, we saw this in the first episode, like when we first see them together at the opening of the second season. And the way she goes up to him, she's not like affectionate with him. She like grabs his mouth.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like just grabs it and just kind of like yeah.
She has
you're
the
mine.
power in that
Yeah,
relationship.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just everything about the show is so well written. And these people,
She is amazing in this show.
Yes.
How controlled she has
Yes.
to be. And I mean, you see in that first episode of season 2, or like when the mom's visiting and she
Yeah.
practices smiling, and how
that was
how foreign it looks on her. Like it looks like it hurts.
It looks so unnatural.
Yeah.
And that's how much a good an act how good of an actress
She's
this
great.
is. Yeah.
She is so good.
Denise
And
Gu.
yeah.
I think I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Denise Gao. She's such a good actress
Yeah.
that when she smiles and she's practicing, it looks
Resting
scary.
imperial
and-
face is
Yeah, it looks scary and unnatural when she does it.
yeah.
You know, when she's practicing her smiles, because she's basically, to an extent, a sociopath.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, she's been raised. I mean, she even says it. She's been raised by the Empire her entire life.
Yep.
She knows no other way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting because the way the structure of the show is, each episode or each set of 3 is a year forward.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really get to see what is happening in between.
Right.
But like her character and Cyril's character, like the changes they go from him first showing to Gorham to be this double agent.
Right.
To the next episode where there's I think they say like
It's like a 2-year time.
time shift where he is kind of more sympathetic towards their cause.
Right.
Doesn't really know the plan.
At all.
and you see how hurt he gets by that,
Right.
and then also like, how can we do this? Like it's amazing.
And I really hope I understand why they had to cut, because we talked about it before, that this show was supposed to be longer.
Yeah.
And I really wish we had seen Cyril really integrating with the Gormans more.
Yeah,
you know,
see,
because
like,
all
his
of a sudden,
hair growing out a little bit more. You see like his dress change.
Well, by this set of episodes, he's much more sympathetic to the cause, and it seems like he has some type of either relationship or some kind of attraction with one of the rebels.
Man, I have so many questions.
I know, man, because
about like what that was all. Yeah, because one scene.
So what we're talking about is at one point, Cyril goes up to she's one of the young women that's involved in the resistance.
Yeah.
And we'll call him Maquis.
She's the daughter of
one of the main leaders.
Yes.
And by this point, it seems like they found out that he is an Imperial agent.
Yeah, I think he.
And he goes up to her and he's like, "Hey, like it's a trap. Be careful. Like there's something going on." And she turns around, slaps and walks away. Like she's hurt that he is not. She's not hurt that he's. Not only hurt that he's part of the Empire, but
they have a personal relationship.
They have a personal relationship, and he fooled them.
Yeah.
So at some point they found something out, and I really wish that there was like a director's cut of this that is released. I don't know if they filmed these episodes. I don't think they did.
What I love about this show is like it's these time jumps of like it feels natural.
It does. Nothing feels forced.
No, it doesn't feel like, well, it's been a year, I've grown a beard. It's like, no, it's like there's definitely like some wear has happened. Some story has taken place.
Yeah, drama has happened in between all that. We see Andor, who all of a sudden has a blaster bolt scar on his shoulder where he got shot in some mission and it still hurts. And I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah.
I don't. But no, it seems that because he's been running around doing missions for Lucian. We also got word that Bix killed. They keep saying killed a young Imperial soldier, and they keep calling him the boy. And apparently, she just went up and shot him, just murdered him, and now she's on the run because of that. So it's just like, but again, it feels natural because
stuff you don't
the
see.
stuff that she's gone through.
Yeah. Oh.
The stuff that we talked about it again. That scene that a lot of fans had issues with the assault scene.
Yeah.
It feels natural. Like, oh yeah, of course she was tortured. Her boyfriend was killed by the Empire. She was assaulted.
Yeah.
She's been run off from her home. So it does. So if when they say, oh yeah, she went up to an Imperial soldier and just shot him. Now she's on the run for that. We're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel forced,
But you see at the end of the last of episodes where she takes out her tormentor from the torture.
Yes, she finds
a smile kind of come on her face,
right?
And I was so happy with the next set when they're living on Yavin.
Yeah,
she looks like she's been healed.
It does look like she's kind of moved on a little bit,
right? Like I was because they showed a little bit of that set, like her doing kind of some drugs, and I was like, oh god, we're gonna see her OD, aren't we?
That's what I was thinking. Or she's gonna be struggling with
stick it out, you know. But man, like I was so glad that storyline felt like it ran its course.
Yeah, and then again, this show, I've said it to you guys on the text chain we have. This show does not care about your feelings. No. And I'm here for it. We have Cinta, who is it's Cinta. She's in a relationship with Mon Mothma's cousin, who's also in the rebellion.
Val, yeah.
And the rebels are the resistance. They're not quite rebels yet. The resistance is carrying out a theft against the Empire because they are still mining to an extent. And there's a struggle between two of the resistance guys, and then one has a blaster, which he's not supposed to have.
Yeah.
It goes off. And we see that it's Cinta that's killed. She's there just kind of overseeing things. She tells the resistance, myself and Val are the only ones that have blasters, nobody else.
Yeah.
Because they know that because they're so green, these people, they've never found, again, they're fashion designers.
Well, even Val was kind of like, I don't think we should be doing this with these
guys. Exactly, because they're inexperienced, they're
passionate, but it doesn't.
Yeah, but they don't have the combat skills. And because of that, they don't want them to have blasters. One, of course, smuggles one in. There's a struggle, and Cinta's killed. Completely senseless.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Cinta was going to die, like, defending the rebellion.
I got out of my chair. I was so upset.
Yes, dude.
And I was waiting. I was like, Val, you shoot that motherfucker in the head.
Yes, dude. I thought, but at the end, she's like, you're going to have to live with this. She tells the guy.
It was the best speech.
Oh, my God. Dude.
Like, her speech to him of, like, you're going to live with this for the rest of your life.
This is why Andor's so good, man, because it's like, it's about war. Like I said it before, they put the war back in Star Wars. And it's like sometimes in war, things are just senseless.
Yeah.
Things just fucking happen.
And the way that her character was able to like weaponize in that
Yes.
way of like, now you got to make this count.
Exactly.
You took out one of the best warriors we have. Like that's what she said. She was like, she was a warrior.
And she's absolutely crushed by the death of it's implied her lover.
Yeah.
But she says it happened. I'm going to use it, and I can't let my feelings overshadow the cause. Oh my God, man! Yeah, and so eventually
This is not like a Han Solo or a legacy character. This is someone that we're never going to see again.
That's probably going to die in the next couple episodes.
You know what I mean? It's incredible what they're able to do with this show.
Right. So then we see that the Empire's plan is coming together. The Gormans are gathering. They have sealed off this plaza that the Gormans have memorialized because Moff Tarkin landed a ship there a couple years ago and killed a bunch of them because they were again having a demonstration, their own protest, and the Empire being what it is.
Yeah.
We didn't get a ton of stuff about Moff Tarkin in the films, but we know he's evil. And here it is. He just lands a ship on a bunch of protesters who are unarmed.
Yeah.
So the Gormans have memorialized this plaza. The Empire has sealed it off. Doesn't let anybody go near the memorial. Then they start pulling back the barricades.
Yeah.
Knowing full well, and Deidre points this out, the population will be armed this time.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the Empire wants.
Counting on it.
Yeah. They send an Imperial captain down. He's more of like the muscle. And he purposely brings a bunch of green soldiers.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. When I was watching, I was like, okay, so what if they're green? Like, and why would they do that? But okay.
They're going to shoot first.
Exactly. So as the crowd gathers, also, did you notice that one of the banners they're waving is the same burnt orange that the rebellion?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And we can talk about it.
Yeah. So they're waving banners. The Gormans start singing their songs. The Empire slowly begins to surround them with stormtroopers, with soldiers, with snipers up on the buildings, and you can feel the tension begin to boil. And even Deidre's like, "What's happening right here?"
And Cassian is there because he's sent to assassinate Deidre.
Yeah, exactly.
And so he just ended up like at the wrong place at the wrong time,
right?
Because he gets in there and he's like, "They're moving the barricades. Shit is going down. Like there's more soldiers." On like the roof of the hotel that weren't there,
And he knows that something's up. He tries warning the resistance, and the resistance is ready.
Working.
Comms aren't working. It's chaos. The resistance is those guys are ready to fight because they know what's at stake. The Empire slowly surrounds them with stormtroopers. So they send out the green soldiers out there. Cyril gets kind of caught up in it. He goes in to see Deidre, and she's like, "It's okay. We'll be on Coruscant. It's just we'll be heroes. Just don't worry about what's happening. Just stay in the building." And then Cyril realizes what's going on. Is like, oh my God, I'm a part of this massacre that's about to happen. Because the one thing that's, again, a great show, going back to season 1, Cyril is a person who believes in law and order to an extent.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't believe in...
He always believes going by the book.
Going by the book. He doesn't believe in necessarily... He's not a monster.
No.
He works for the Empire, but he's not a monster. Deidre is, even though she doesn't realize it.
Right.
So she has the captain down there who says... I'm the trigger. You're the weapon.
Finger.
You're the finger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sends the soldiers who are green out there. Of course, immediately the mob starts turning on them, and because they're so young and green, they overreact.
Yeah.
When something gets thrown at them, they start firing into the crowd.
And there's an Imperial sniper.
There's a couple Imperial snipers up on the roof who fire, but they don't fire on the crowd. They fire on the green troops. And the green troops see that, and they're like, "Oh, obviously it must be the crowd."
Yeah.
And this entire scene shows how brutal and ruthless the Empire is, dude.
Yeah.
And how brutal this show is.
As soon as they saw the stormtroopers block off the way out, I was like, "It's a killing floor."
Bro, and the Empire knows 100% their people are going to get killed, and that's what they want. Yeah. They're willing to sacrifice their own troops
because now they're
to
martyrs.
Justify exactly. So, fucking chaos erupts. The crowd starts firing at the stormtroopers. Stormtroopers fire back. People are getting hit. Everybody starts running. And then we see Cyril earlier in the building. He goes into this room, and there's a group of Imperial security droids in there.
Yes, the K2SO,
Holy shit,
the
dude.
KX series, which are now, because of this show, are like the Terminators of...
insane, dude. They release them on the crowd. And again, it goes...
shit.
I said this in the text that we have. It shows how brutal the Empire is.
Yeah.
and these things are just like they don't give. They're literally taking people and slamming them on the ground. Did you see that one scene behind? Like it's a quick cut, but you see one of them just pick somebody up, and these things are like 9-10 feet tall.
Yeah,
and they just slam them in the concrete. These bodies, and they're just taking people and literally chucking them across the plaza.
The main daughter gets tossed. Like she gets hit by
that. Yeah.
She gets hit by one of her own guys, falls down because it's just chaos in the square. The robot just grabs her and throws her.
Like 30 feet.
Right, and you've seen a lot of TV shows. This happens to a lot of characters.
Yeah.
They get thrown, they hit a wall, they're like,
and they get up and keep running. Yeah.
She's dead on impact.
Dude, and did you hear the sound? I'm telling the sound in this show is intense, dude.
Crunch.
She hits the ground, it's like crunch, and then that's it. She's dead. She smashes her. You can see she smashed her head on the pavement. She's done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like you said, I stood up. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is a fucking Star Wars show. Like, oh my god!
And like during all this is happening, it's so funny because I came back to Cyril, just looking completely shocked at what's happening.
Yeah.
And for me in my head, it went to like the Zangief scene in the Street Fighter movie where he's like, "We're the bad guys."
Yeah.
Because it's just him looking around, going like, "Holy, like we are just murdering these people relentlessly,
dude."
Like,
and the security,
there's children, and I mean, it's like it's
man.
brutal.
And the as the stormtroopers are mowing people down with blaster fire, these security droids are just tossing bodies. They don't even have weapons. They're just tossing people into buildings, into walls. It's insane.
Just taking out as much people as they can.
It was crazy, man. Yeah. So eventually they're able to kind of. Get some distance between Cassian's able to get some
There's
distance.
There's no wins. It's just get away.
Yeah, get away. And as he's about to, he sees Deidre step back out on her balcony area. He's about to take a shot, and Cyril sees him and charges him.
Yeah,
and dude, again,
and then they're
this
in the
show.
calf shop. Yeah,
this show is again a brutal show. It's like a knockdown, angry fight.
And I had to go back. When was the last time these two saw each other? And it was it was
at
last episode of the last season.
Yeah, it was on Ferrix. Yeah.
So they haven't seen each other in 4 years.
And Cassian probably hasn't given a lot of thought to him.
No, because he's been doing this.
He's been doing all kinds of shit. There's a million people after him.
Right.
So. And Cyril, this is the guy who he feels ruined his life.
This is his Jean Valjean.
Exactly.
This is his moment. I'm here,
Yeah.
Javert. He's gonna do the whole bit.
Yep. And dude, the fight they have, the fight is not anything there's no it's not a Daredevil type fight where people have martial arts. It's just them, these two guys just
hitting the shit out of each other.
Just a knockdown,
and
drag out fight.
Yet again, throwing him into walls and windows, and nothing smashing and breaking. It's just bonk. And you're like, jeez, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, and it looks painful. Yeah, it looks painful. Eventually, Cyril, the people start firing into the cafe, and that's when you see in the trailer where Cassian's kind of jumping over the table, and Cyril picks up his rifle and is about to shoot him, and that's when Cassian's like, "Who are you, dude? Why are you fucking with me?"
Yeah,
basically,
and you just see the hurt in Cyril's face.
Yeah,
because he's just
years of his life dedicated to catching this guy, and Cassian doesn't even know who he is.
Him. Yeah.
Doesn't even remember him.
Yeah.
It's you're just another guy who's been after me. Big deal. And as Cyril's about to shoot him, the father of the leader of the resistance shoots him in the back of the head.
Trusted Cyril. Yeah.
And dude, we skipped the part where one of the previous episodes was Saw Gerrera. I have friends everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my God, we haven't talked about Saw Gerrera.
There's a part where one of the resistance, I guess, fighters from Syrix, who was there, who had his father killed by the Empire.
Willman.
Yeah, Willman. Yeah. He was sent to Saw Gerrera's group to
show them how to break into a facility.
Yeah, to steal Rhinox. Yeah,
which is
fuel.
Fuel.
It's spaceship fuel basically.
Spaceship fuel.
And he's trying to teach another guy how to do it. He has a mock-up of he has to move certain things at certain times. It's like a time lock mechanism.
Yeah.
And this guy is like, yeah, man, I think this kid's ready. It seems like I think I'm ready. I think I can do it because Saw Gerrera's questioning him. Eventually, he says, "So what's going to happen to the kid?" And he says, Charles Gerrera's like, we're going to kill him. We don't need him. So people sent him, whatever, no big deal. And the guy's like, well, I don't know. I think we might need him. But by the way, where are we going tonight?
Yeah.
Do you know what facility we're going to hit? I don't know anything about it.
The variations.
Yeah. So Saw Gerrera gets both of them towards the end. He says, "Yeah, okay. Like, I think. Are you ready?" He's like, "To steal the riboit." And the guy says, "Yeah, I think I am." The kid says, "Do you think he's ready?" He's like, "I think he might be ready." And Saw Gerrera points a blaster at him. He's like, "You think he's ready or not? Yes or no?" And he says, "Yeah, I think he is." And he turns around and he shoots the other guy. And he says, and again, this show's brutal, man. Like he shoots him right in the head,
Yep.
and his head just
Point
like knocks backward.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, he's an Imperial spy," and they just leave his body there, and they take off.
Yeah.
Then finally, the next scene is like, oh my god! I told you guys in the tech, I got emotional with this scene because Saw Gerrera has this amazing speech about what it's like being basically being a soldier. He says what revolution is about, and I kind of paraphrased it here, but he says, "Look at us." This is Saw Gerrera talking to this kid because he just figured out how to steal the fuel, but if you breathe it in, it gives you kind of like lung damage, makes your body itch. Saw Gerrera talks about
kill you really quickly.
Kills you,
if you take
Saw Gerrera
in.
talks about a time when he was imprisoned, how they were able to. They had a leak of this fuel, but it actually made him stronger.
Yeah,
and that's why he loves the smell of it now because it thinks it's
addicted
runs,
to it.
Yeah, and it reminds him of freedom to an extent. So he tells the kid, again, I paraphrase this, but he says, Saw Gerrera to the kid about being a soldier. Look at us, unloved, hunted, cannon fodder, and yet. Here we are. And where are you, boy? You're here. You're right here, and you're ready to fight. Holy shit.
And the kid's wearing a gas mask.
A respirator.
The scene. Like, he doesn't want to smell the stuff. And as soon as Saul says that, he pulls it off.
Yeah.
And takes a big
And,
inhale.
dude, that actor did an amazing job because he's wearing goggles. He's wearing a respirator. But, like, he's kind of, as Saw Gerrera is saying this,
in the moment.
he's in it, and he's, like, kind of thinking about what he's saying. He says, and then he says, where are you, boy? And that's where he looks at him, and his eyes get wide.
Right.
It's great acting,
It's stuff
dude.
like that where it's like, Saul Gerrera is a character that was created and first showed up in the Clone Wars, right? As like a guerrilla spy, like
yeah.
And then you see him next in Rogue One, and he's like missing a leg.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a crazy gas mask thing going.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, he's
to this
basically
guy?
an iron lung himself.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I don't understand this transition.
Right.
But this show shows you like being like in this revolution has fucked him up, and he's just fucking mainlining the fucking drug now. So it's destroyed his lungs. It's he's just wasting away.
Yeah, and because he's given everything for the cause, literally.
Yeah.
So the kid takes off his respirator and he begins to breathe it in. He's like choking on it.
Yeah.
But Saw Gerrera is like,
And he's like screaming.
Yeah, and he's like, "Where'd the fuel? Yeah, where'd the spark?"
Yeah.
And he's
spark, boy.
Yeah, and he says, "Breathe it in. That's freedom."
Yeah.
Oh, it's my God, dude, it's so good, and it's just it's the birth of a rebel, like a true rebel.
Yeah, because at that point he was kind of half in, half out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, this show is simply amazing. I haven't watched the last episode. I just haven't had time, but so I only watched it up to the Gorman episode.
The all Ewok episode. It's pretty.
You know what though? If Tony Gilroy's doing
he would
it,
do a good job with it.
it would be amazing. It would be all about the struggle.
It would be fucking like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I was about to say, yeah, that's exactly what it'd be, and it would be how they're so connected to their land. Yeah.
Yub yub. Just inhaling drugs.
Yeah.
Yub yub.
As you're spearing Imperial.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, give it to Tony Gilroy. I've said it before.
There we
I'll say it
go.
again. Just give
Remake Battle of
Lucasfilm.
Endor.
Just give Lucasfilm to Tony Gilroy, please. Just let him have it. Just let him have it. He knows what he's doing. He's an amazing writer.
Yeah.
And again, that speech Saw Gerrera gave, man, I've watched it. I've watched a clip of it like 60 times already, and I still get emotional every time I hear it.
Yeah.
I don't think Tony Gilroy's ever been in the military. I don't know how he captured the essence of that's what it feels like to be a soldier, especially when you're at war. But he did an amazing job with it.
Yeah.
It's poetry, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking poetry.
And we haven't even mentioned the Mon Mothra stuff.
Oh,
but
Jesus, yeah.
We talked like that character and that actress is shining in this show.
Shining,
Like,
dude. Yeah.
Yet again, it's a different. Like everyone is holding back at this point. Everyone is holding stuff under the surface. Everyone's holding so many secrets. Like we're saying with Deirdre as well. Like these characters are so much bubbling under the surface.
Yes,
and you feel
man.
every bit of that tension. And you know where it's going. You know where the story's going to end up. And it's so funny to me because it's just like, man, this is going to somehow dovetail into Star Wars and like Luke going to get power converters.
Yeah,
it's so
just,
weird. And it's like, but
And
then you have these amazing characters and like the sacrifices they're making,
Bro.
that will never be known.
Never be
and
known.
even
Yeah.
Lutheran says, he says it like I'm gonna die before I see a new tomorrow. You
Right,
know, like
exactly.
at the beginning of season 1. Like,
Saw Gerrera says it
Yeah.
in that speech. We'll all be
don't-
dead before the Republic is gone, and yet here we are.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like they're never gonna get the glory.
never.
And they know
you
it.
Genevieve O'Reilly, who plays Mon Mothma, amazing actress.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, and I've said this before about the show. It's like every single time she's under stress, she has that tension. She carries this tension on her face.
Yeah.
Where at any moment she can be arrested or shot by the Empire.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can feel it. You can
And
feel it on
she's
a lot of
has
those
spies all
characters.
around her.
All
like,
around her.
It's wild.
It's wild, man. It's just like and again, you can feel the tension in every single one of these characters. Again, I don't know what it's just like every single one of these characters feels like real people. There's a part where Cyril and Deidre get in an argument, right? When he's like, what before the attack on the Gormans in the plaza. And he's like, what's happening? What's going on out there?
Yeah.
And she's like, it's okay. And he screams like, tell me. And she like jumps.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time he's ever like stood up to her.
The bit that killed me of this episode too, the bit that killed me is, we got the Empire's propaganda machine.
Yes.
With the news reporters there saying like, oh my God, hearing Gorman, it's craziness. Like, and nothing's really happening there. And then it cuts, after the battle, it cuts to his mom.
Oh, yes.
And she's hearing about the martyrs of Gorman,
Yes.
the people that died for the Empire. And you just see a tear go down her cheek.
Yes.
Because she's lost the one thing she's ever
What
loved.
about Deidre's reaction? Now, we don't know if that's her reaction to what just happened,
Right.
or when they told her what happened to Cyril.
Yeah.
She goes into like what's their skiff, which is like a confidential room where she can
Where
speak
she's
to
been connected
higher
to,
ups.
yeah.
And it's a small, tiny room, and she's in there. And again, this actress is amazing because this is Deidre. The character is supposed to have been, this very
She's the most buttoned up
regimented,
character.
very buttoned up, very professional.
Never shows emotion.
No, never shows emotion, and she's like struggling to hold her emotions
She's like
in,
clawing at her throat.
Yeah, at
just
her
like,
collar.
Yeah.
She's like trying to pull down her tunic.
You see her hand shaking.
And she's like trying.
Like
she's crying, but she's trying to hold back.
Hold it in, yeah.
Everything
She's
it's taking her.
like-
Everything she has, like not like
It's
scream.
Brilliant.
It's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Come on, dude. This is Star Wars, bro. Yes, it is. And this is why, like I read a comment that said Disney Plus is trying to be like HBO, and that person wrote that comment trying to disparage Andor and I was like, you know what? Fuck that.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad they're trying to be like HBO. They should be like it should be, because not every single bit of Star Wars has to be for kids.
Right.
This
Fuck
fuck off with that.
I
Fuck
literally
off
had
with
this
that.
discussion today at work where I'm working with someone who was like, I'm so far behind on Star Wars.
Right.
And we were talking about Andor, and I was like, dude, Andor is insane.
Yeah.
Like it's Game of Thrones for Star Wars. It's next
Yes.
level. And she was, she was going like, I miss Star Wars being brighter and lighter and stuff.
Fucking
I'm like,
goofy and dumb. Yeah.
but the thing about Star Wars is there is room for all of these things.
Exactly.
And I even said, like, if you want that, watch Skeleton Crew. I love
Exactly,
Skeleton Crew.
yes.
I thought it was a great, fun adventure. It was
Yeah.
Goonies in space.
Yeah.
It was space
Yeah, it was
pirates.
good. Yeah.
It was, it was a lot of fun and done really well.
Yeah.
And it was self-contained.
Yeah.
And you didn't need to have legacy characters. You didn't need Luke Skywalker showing up. You didn't need Han Solo. It was this whole story that was its own thing.
Right.
And the same with Andor. Like, Andor is connected, it dovetails into a lot of things. Like, even the Massacre of Gorman is mentioned in the Rebels cartoon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
It's
Yeah.
a big part of the big storyline of that is the creation of the rebellion is because of this Massacre of Gorman.
Ah,
So
I didn't know that.
It's very interesting that bit of lore is now cemented
Yeah.
in this show.
Yeah.
And from like Rebels, which is a cartoon series, which is not as as crazy as this.
No.
It still works within that universe.
Of course it does. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course
It's
it does.
So good.
And I'm sorry, man. Like some people are saying this is because it's too serious, this and that. It's too boring. Fuck off. Go watch Battle of Endor. Go watch
They've
Caravan
got-
of Courage.
there's 40
Go watch
years
that.
worth of shit to watch.
Come on. This is something that is on a different level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is for us. Like, this
Exactly.
is our generation. The people that grew up with the original trilogy who are now, grown up, have kids of their own,
Right.
or, or been fans of this since they were kids.
Right.
This is for us.
Exactly. And I think it's ridiculous to think.
Not you, Chad.
Yeah. It's
Hey,
I think it's ridiculous to think that there isn't a human cost for this grand story that's been going on for the last like 50 years.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's a rebellion, it's a war. There's a part, again, we all have seen it in Jedi where Mon Mothma goes out there. First time we ever saw her, and she says, many Bothans died. It's a very famous line to get us this information. And that actress kind of had like a very, she like a moment of self-reflection, like, oh my God, like we've sacrificed a lot. And now you understand it.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, yeah, there's a lot of sacrifice in this.
I've yet to see any Bothans, though.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe we'll get some in this. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, they weren't in the movie, so.
That's true.
Yeah, it's interesting. I thought there would be more in Rogue One, but
Yeah. But yeah, it's a show that is on a different level when it comes to everything, the writing, the directing, the acting, cinematography. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I haven't watched the last episode of the latest 3 seasons that dropped.
I mean, I'm not gonna say nothing. But yet again, I mean, the way they use, I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's I hope that it's amazing.
Pucker up your asshole. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's what I've been doing this entire time. Yeah, that's what, because I'll make nobody's safe aside from Mon Mothma and Cassian.
Because you're like,
nobody else
I know where they're gonna.
Nobody else is safe.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But
and I'm almost positive those are probably the only 2 that are gonna make it past this series. I'm almost positive. Yeah, it's this show it's one of the best. I think it's the best thing that's come out of Disney Star Wars. It's certainly one of the best TV shows ever made, just period.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that Tony Gilroy isn't even that big of a fan of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But we were talking about this earlier.
I mean,
he's a professional. He was hired for a job, so he's a good storyteller. So he's going to deliver on what he was hired to do.
I think this is really good. I love the Mandalorian when it's going on all cylinders. Mandalorian is really good. There's plenty of not good in there too.
The season 3 was
That's why I feel like this is taking the lead as like my favorite Star Wars property right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like there's nothing wrong with having a serious show like this, because again, I think it's the only show that shows the true human cost,
right,
or just cost of lives in general.
Yeah.
That it takes to spark a rebellion, that it takes to maintain it, that it takes to rise up against an evil power like the Empire. And again, like I love how the Empire is portrayed as being intelligent, cunning,
dangerous,
brutal, dangerous, like sadistic,
and taking the time, like this whole Gorman storyline. It's like 4 years of planning and discrediting that whole world to get to that massacre. It isn't like a quick, we're just going to go and destroy things. So it's this slow knife that's just been slowly slid in. And
and I kind of feel like I think that was one of the biggest problems with the latest trilogy that we got. The First Order never felt like a threat.
No,
they're bumbling. There's a part where Finn and Poe are just running through a hallway, just mowing down stormtroopers. I'm like, okay, it's just like, and if they try that in Andor, they get shot immediately.
They would be dead. They would be so dead. And I also love in the show. We didn't talk about it really, but the bit where he does have the blaster scarring.
Yes.
Bix takes him to a healer, a force healer.
Did you think that was a Jedi?
I think but I mean, so in Rogue One we see people that are force sensitive that aren't Jedi. But I love that the because it's been at this point
almost 15 years.
The whole idea of the Force has been taken out of, like, everyone thinks it's a joke,
right?
Even he's like, this is like a con, like she's not really there's no such thing as the Force, like, so you're seeing that how that spread, that idea that there is no such thing as the Force,
and the Empire has done an amazing job of suppressing
the religion
it.
And
suppressed it. It killed anybody associated with it, hunted them down. It's so good, man. It's just like all these little tidbits that they throw in there. It's just aside from like the main storyline, it's just amazing. Do you know why Jimmy Smits wasn't able to come back?
I heard it was just a timing thing.
Yeah, that's what I figured too. And fans were like, "What the hell's going on?" Yeah, because like when they called him Bail Organa, I like that actor.
Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah, but I was disappointed too because I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
I was hoping we go full circle with Jimmy Smits playing Bill because he's been in Bail Organa since what 2004,
And he's in Rogue One.
and he's in Rogue One. I was hoping like, oh man, this is like the end of Bail Organa's storyline. I was hoping we could finish it up with Jimmy Smits. But, but he still did a great job, Benjamin.
Benjamin Bratt's great.
Yeah, man. And I got a piece of the latest episode drop.
Yes.
It looks like he's. When Monmouth was like, we got to go. Like, they're arresting people. We have to go. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Bail Organa would do. He's like, no, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. They arrest me. You know, that's what I love about that character, you know?
Well, and as a fan what's at stake with him.
Exactly.
Which Monmouth does not know.
Does not. Exactly, yeah.
So,
exactly.
You were in on it more than the characters in the show.
Right. And he's just like, I can't. You
don't have no idea what secrets I've got.
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
Oh, my God. Yeah, Andor is just I tell you, it's there's very few shows that are perfect. I think Breaking Bad was one of them. I don't care what anybody says. Lost is definitely one of them. We can have words about that.
It was good until like the
okay, here we go.
30-yard line, and then they fumbled it a bit.
No, if you don't understand the last episode, it's because you don't have people that love you. That's what's going on.
Oh, I do, but I'm just sure that when I go to heaven, I will have my kids show up there. Unlike Sun and Jin, who apparently don't give a fuck about their kid.
Well, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, but
they
still,
just were like, we're gonna die in a boat. Fuck our kid.
Maybe that kid was an asshole. Who knows? But they all waited for each other to move on together. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's why. And then the villain who had murdered a bunch of people was like, "Sorry, I can't go." He says that, so I can't go with you guys. I have to sit here. Bro. Anyway, Lost in Andor. It was Breaking Bad. Definitely not Game of Thrones. They fucked it up towards the end, but they could have been. Penguin. Yes, Penguin. Deadwood. Sopranos.
Justified.
I never finished Justified, but yeah, I've heard. But yes. Boardwalk Empire. Well, they kind of slowed down the fifth.
The Wire.
Yeah. The Wire, yes, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oz.
I never watched it. But yeah, and Andor is definitely up there.
Sopranos.
We said Sopranos.
Dream On.
Dream On.
It was a HBO
know what
show.
That is, yeah.
It was a sex comedy thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
it was funny.
Yeah. All right. But yes, Andor's definitely up there. If I don't think they're gonna mess it up the next 3 episodes.
I mean, yeah.
I don't see how they can with the direction of what Tony Gilroy's doing. Just give him Lucasfilm, dude. When Kenny steps down, just give it to him.
It's gonna be so funny when Jar Jar Binks shows up.
The last
episode. So happy.
The last episode. It's a Jar Jar Binks episode.
Yeah.
That's the entire thing. I'm like, what the fuck?
You're there like, no.
He's still a senator. He's like, Misa don't know what to do.
No, but he's like turned full Empire.
Yeah.
He's like wearing like an emperor. He's wearing an emperor hat.
Yeah, he's got the jumpers on.
Yeah,
he's an officer.
Make the Empire great again.
Yeah.
After Annie disappeared, Misa joined the Empire. You know, that'd be great.
Andor, amazing. Check it out, please. It's oh God, it's just so good. It should be illegal for a show to be this good.
Now, out of spite, I can't watch the show because you
fine.
like it that much.
That's fine. You're gonna be missing out, and you'll be less of a person. But that's whatever.
Your life will be that little bit much less than complete. Yeah.
And then let's go to another show that also fumbled the line right before the 30-yard line at Last of Us. I know we talked about this earlier, Watson, that you had not seen the latest episode, which is never a good sign.
Yeah, this past Sunday, yeah. I wasn't like planning to miss it, but it definitely.
But you just forgot about it, right?
I did. Exactly. Things came up. Life happens.
I would never forget Andor.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was up very late when I shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
To watch Andor, to watch those 3. When those 3 episodes drop, it's like they're 50-minute episodes.
Yep.
I was like,
that's what happened to me. I got home too late.
Until 1.
Yeah, 1:30. I had to go
5 in the morning for work. But
1:30, I had to go to sleep. I was like, I can't finish this. But yeah,
Twitter.
You watched the season, the episode.
Yeah, prior. So
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so episode 3.
Yeah,
which was the funeral of Joel.
Right.
I mean, I do like what they did with that episode, which was they really showed the town's mourning Joel, and it was like a very much like, the it's a time jump forward because Ellie was hurt in the end of the last episode. She's in the hospital for a while. So, it's a few months go by, like 2 months, I think it's a jump forward. The town is having a town meeting to figure out what they want to do. Because Ellie is going to, protest that the town send out people to find the people that killed Joel. Mm-hmm. And she's mad because they've lost 2 months of time, Yeah. And it's her friend Dana who comes up and is like, you know what? We don't know where they were going to, like, we didn't know anything about them, right? Mm-hmm. So what was the point chasing after them? We had no idea even what direction to go. And Dana was like, when I was there, one of them had a patch on their backpack, the WLF patch, the wolf patch. Mm-hmm. And she's like, it took me some time, but I found some contacts and stuff that this is the Washington Freedom League or whatever it is. And so she's like, so we know where they're going to be. They're going to be in Seattle. That's where this group is. So she's like, what's better than chasing them on the run is letting them get there and feel safe. And then we'll go after them. So Dana's like very much like, we're going to go together.
Is that Dana or Dana?
Dina, sorry.
Yeah.
Dina, yeah.
Dina. So Ellie is very much on the warpath of like, I'm going to go, but we're going to have this town meeting. We see the town and, different people come up going like, look, we've all lost people. There was this huge battle. Yeah. We're rebuilding the walls still, and you're going to take 12 of our best men to go track who killed one guy. Mm-hmm. Like we're all hurting. Like, what is this? And like Tommy's there like, look, it's my brother. Like, I want to go, So it's interesting to get that dynamic of like, because like in the game, there's none of that huge battle. It just happens with Joel, and so with this, it's like no, the whole town is hurting. We're just rebuilding. The ice is just thawing, kind of stuff. So the town kind of says no, we're not going to send anyone out, and it's the I forgot the character's name, but the guy that yelled at her for kissing in the
the older dude,
he like sides with her, and he's like, meet me at this gate, I'll hook you up with a horse and a new gun kind of thing. And so they hit the road to go to Seattle. Now this is where I had issues with the show because like, okay, yes, it's good that they're going really at breakneck speed with the storyline. Mm-hmm. Versus like the first season, we saw them take 4 or 5 episodes to get from one place to another, right? Like it's a long journey. It shows how hard it is to travel. They very much like last season of Game of Thrones, where it's like suddenly you get from like Winterfell down to like King's Landing in like an episode. Yeah. But they do this here, where it's like suddenly they go from Wyoming, to Seattle.
It spent like 2 days or whatever.
Yeah, and like in the course of half an hour of this episode. Yeah, they're at the
what? Really?
Yeah, they start. Like they get on the horses. Yeah. They go back. You see them like camp in the woods a little bit. Then next thing they're at the gates of Seattle. And I'm just like, oh, interesting. Like I don't find it fulfilling. Like you don't feel the struggle how hard it is for them to travel. It's like they're just trying to kind of kick the story along now that quickly.
In the midst of all this of them traveling, does Ellie at least like reflect back on Joel at any moment?
Yeah. So there's a beautiful scene. There's a couple of really good scenes. Like one of which is she visits Joel's grave. So there's a mass grave out on the other side of town, and you see her go like before she leaves. She shows up at the grave, and she has coffee beans in her hand, and she places the coffee beans by Joel's grave because remember season 1, he would keep drinking coffee, and she'd always make fun of it, like smells like shit kind of thing.
Yeah,
and so
another reason I don't like this Ellie.
Yeah, I know, but it's just this moment of connection between the two.
Yeah,
I know. She was like 14. Come on.
Give a fuck. This is the apocalypse. You'd be drinking 14 coffee at 10.
Oh man, the stunt took growth even more. Yeah. So she has that moment, and then again when like they're in the tent and they're sorry, it takes me a minute because it's been 2 weeks ago, but like she.
This is why they're traveling, or before they leave.
This is while they're traveling.
Okay.
So yeah, so like she visits Joel's grill before kind of looking back at the town. Jack and just takes off. So yeah, so it's like I said, like it just feels like they're trying to rush a little too fast to get to the action sequences. Obviously, they show up to Seattle, then you see them kind of you see the town in the distance, like maybe it's like 5 miles away, and you see that it's just overgrown and everything, and then it cuts to in the town, and you see because they're like thinking that the wolf group is very small or disbanded, like they're like maybe it's a few people. Then it cuts to you see the group, and it's like an army, like it's like a massive like 40 people, So it's kind of setting up that there's a big fight ahead of, and that's the end of the episode. Like it's a, yeah, exactly. I wanted more meat on it, but at the same time,
Yeah, I mean their viewership has dropped a lot after the death of Joel.
I bet
it kind of plummeted a lot in the third episode. I think it went up a little in the fourth, but certainly not from the first. The first 2 episodes, they haven't gone up to those viewership numbers yet.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, why I never really had that. A lot of fans had problems with the killing of Joel in the video game. I understand why. This is the way they did it, and I understand why they did it is to kind of like motivate Ellie to like leave the safety of Jackson Hole.
Yeah.
And then they did it.
It was a good progression for that
right.
character.
They did it again in this episode. Maybe they should wait a little longer. But okay, fine. You want to kill off Joe, but again, my problem is after that it's going to be a very Ellie centric show.
Yeah.
And I don't like the way that this Ellie's portrayed. Yeah, because she's annoying. She's sarcastic, arrogant, rude to people. She's an asshole. Why should I don't ever cheer for her when she's on screen. I just hope that she gets taken
There's
out.
a little bit of that too when she is healing, the psychiatrist played by Catherine O'Hara. Hera comes out. And like she's just like, we're gonna check on you before you leave, like how you feel about Joel's death. And she's a bit of an asshole to her, like, yeah, I'm good, everyone dies, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, this
exactly.
Again. But like you get it through the course of that episode is a defense mechanism because
of course it is.
There is one beautiful scene. So like she gets out of the hospital and she goes to their house, and it's her alone in the house, and she's walking through, and it hasn't been touched since that Joel left kind of thing, and she grabs one of Joel's shirts and just like presses her face to it, and she just starts bawling. She's smelling. It's a beautiful moment. I'm like,
good.
Yeah, like that's what you need is more of those.
Oh, so she does have. They do show her with some,
but she doesn't want to show weakness in front of other people.
Right. So she was vulnerable to an extent. Okay, that's good.
It's a good scene, and apparently, like that was something that she just kind of did in the moment. Like they built the set. They built this beautiful house set that it could be shot all in one continuous shot because all the rooms are kind of connected, and it was just. They were just kind of like just explore the space kind of thing, and she did that very naturally.
Good.
Yeah, and it comes off great.
But see, that right there is an inherent flaw of the show, though, because it wasn't written into it.
No.
If Bella Ramsey did that on her own, that's amazing because she's a great actor. Yeah. I don't have any problem with her, but her characterization, the writing has done with the character. So that's actually a flaw.
Yeah.
Because she did it on her own. If it wasn't for her being a good actor.
To elevate that scene more,
I think my bad. I think Bella Ramsey go by that.
They are. Yeah,
my mistake. But that shows Bella Ramsey being a good actor because they're able to convey those emotions. That's not in the writing, and that's a problem, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it once all the episodes are dropped. Until then, I'm good.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way. I think you're right. Like I feel more like once they drop a bunch. I mean, also it's hard with like great shows like Andor. Aren't like
exactly.
There's only so much hours of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And I've said it before. I'll say it, I can't. I don't have enough time to dedicate myself to things that just to me are not good. I don't have the energy or the time anymore.
Yeah.
So I have to concentrate.
So I'll leave now. I'm sorry, guys.
See ya. So Last of Us, maybe I'll go back to it, maybe I won't. Or are you gonna go back to it at some point?
I will. Yet again, I think we have like 3 more episodes of Andor, and maybe then I'll jump back to the Last of Us.
Okay. And then I recently watched Until Dawn. Speaking of another thriller horror. For those who play the video game, it's not as connected to the video game as we think. It's they kind of did their own thing with it, but it was there's some issues I have with the film, but overall it's pretty good.
It's a prequel, right? Or
Yeah, it's supposed to be a prequel. So it opens up with let me pull up some of the characters here because a lot of them are kind of forgettable to the point where I'm not going to be able to remember all their names, unfortunately. But the film starts with it opens with Clover Paul, and she is supposed to be she's supposed to be searching for her sister Melanie. She's disappeared somewhere in this town, which is kind of like almost like Silent Hill to an extent. They're supposed to her and her friends are traveling, looking to where Clover was last seen. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic there. And her friends are trying to find out if anybody has seen or has any kind of explanation as to where why Clover went missing and if anybody has seen her. And it's called the Glore Valley, Glore. I thought they were saying Gore when I was first watching the film. The Glore Valley. They explain that there's been some type of, back in the 90s, there was some type of mining accident where the miners, it's a mining town. There was something, it was like a cave-in or some type of like explosion with inside the mine, and a bunch of miners were trapped and killed in there. So the town, because I think it was like over 1,000 miners who were, had families within the town and within the Glore Valley, ended up having a lot of trauma and a lot of emotion, obviously because of that, because a lot of their husbands and wives, their family members were killed in this mining accident. Clover's looking for her missing sister Melanie. There's Max with her, who was Clover's ex-boyfriend. Nina is Clover's best friend. Abe is Nina's boyfriend. And Megan is Max's stepsister. So it starts off with these kids who are, right out of central casting, beautiful looking kids, as most of these slasher movies go.
A WP show.
Exactly. They end up at the Glore Valley Cultural Center after driving through this like really heavy pouring rain where they can't see anything. And we see this in the trailer, where they all of a sudden emerge out of the rain, and surrounding the Glore Valley visitor center is the rain. So it's like a circle of rain surrounding them. So they go inside, trying to find any kind of help. All they see is a phone. They try to find a phone, try to see, because of course their cell phones don't work. And that's when you see, like we saw in the trailer, that hourglass device, whatever it is, turn and begin to count down. And that's when the group starts to be bumped off by first kind of like a serial killer with like a clown mask who has a machete. Then the time resets. They sign every night. They sign the visitor log, and they can see, again, we saw this in the trailer, how each progressive night until the 13th night, the signature gets more and more like chicken scratch, because people begin to kind of lose their minds. It's hinted that Nina is a psychic, so she's kind of like a medium. So at one point she gets possessed by this thing, a ghost or whatever it is, and she begins pointing at these missing signs in one of the visitor center's offices that just has the picture of the person who's missing, and then just says missing. There's no phones, there's no contact information, name, last seen, none of that
cartoony
shit. Cartoony kind of thing, but it's all people who look very serious. And Nina begins to kind of channel the souls of these people, and it's pretty cool that she's like levitating, and she's pointing at a sign. Every time she points at a sign, it's like a different voice. Like, why can't I get out of here? Where am I? Please someone help me.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then she turns to the group and says, "Don't let it in." She breaks her own neck and falls. Jeez. And then they hear a knocking on the door. There's nothing in there, but Clover is dragged across to this house that just kind of appears across the visitor center, and that's where we see that old woman who's using that respirator. and there's a really creepy scene where her house is filled with like these like mannequins with these like horrendous looking masks. And she's watching TV, and it goes. It's a news report from the '90s about the Glory Valley mine tragedy where all these miners died. Eventually we see Peter Stormare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's in the game?
Yeah, he's in the game. But he also played a gas station attendant earlier, where he's like, "Oh yeah, people disappear up all the way to Glory Valley. Don't go up there."
Don't go down that road.
Yeah. We see that he plays Dr. Hill, who's a psychologist, and who's again he's from the game, and we see that he is kind of manipulating things from an extent. He's watching the inside of the visitor center and watching these kids die, and they die every night, and they come back.
Right.
And
But he's not affected by it?
He's not affected by it. And they can't drink the water because if at one point they're all like, okay, we just got to survive tonight, so let's just hang out in the bathroom. Big deal.
Yeah.
So one of the guys gets some water, and he's just like, anybody else wants water? Yeah, definitely, because they just died and came back. And if you drink the water in this valley, whatever it is, you literally explode. There's like a bomb inside of you. You just explode, and then you come back. And so don't drink the water.
Wow.
And as it turns
Mistake
out,
you make once.
yeah, as it turns out, Dr. Hill has been taking people who were in the town in the Glory Valley who were so traumatized by the loss of their relatives, by the accident, the mining accident that happened in this town, that he begins to experiment on them and kind of turn them crazier than what they are. So you saw in the trailer, you saw these kind of like zombie looking things.
Yeah.
So those are people who are from the mining town who he's kind of created to be these kind of wild psychotic things who live.
Wendigo?
Yeah, pretty much a Wendigo. Yeah. Who live in the submerged part of town because after the mine collapsed, a big chunk of the town itself collapsed in on itself. So a lot of the town is underground. There's still electricity somehow, but whatever. And they have to go in and try to find out how they make it out of here. And of course, every night they get killed off. We saw in the trailer how they get killed off by different things and different nights.
Yeah.
There's
it's very cabin in the woods.
Yeah, very cabin in the woods kind of thing. But unfortunately, that's kind of. Towards the end of the movie, they're like, "What night is this? Like, we're not sure what night is this. This is in the 9th or 10th." And they're like, "No, I don't think it is." And they look at the book, and it's actually the 13th night. So they have the last night. They're like, "Wait a minute, what?" So they jump. Yeah, they jump like 7-8 nights. All of a sudden, and then one of the dudes who came along, I think is Max. He's actually been recording, or Abe, excuse me. Abe has been recording all their different deaths on his cell phone this entire time. He's like, wait a minute, let me double check my cell phone. And yes, he's got a bunch of files in there that he doesn't remember, and it's just videos of them being attacked by different things. They look really creepy, but they got like 3 or 4 seconds of screen time.
Yeah.
Like one time there's a thing at the end of the hallway, and it's like this creepy looking dude in a mask, and he comes through the hallway and he like expands in this huge size, and that's all you see of it.
I guess for the movie's sake,
they got to speed it up.
You don't want it to be too repetitive.
Correct, exactly. Yeah, so
kind of like Mickey 17, where they were just like, and he died this way.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So eventually, Clover finds Melanie, but she's been turned into one of these Wendigo things. They have like these real pale skin, these like large teeth, and they've been attacking these. They just kind of attack them and kill whoever comes.
So this is the lost sister.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's the sister they all set out to find, and eventually Clover finds Dr. Hill, who explains as a true supervillain does, gives his plan, what he's been doing. Yeah, that he came along this town, found so much trauma, and was able to capitalize it into this force to turn these people into Wendigos and somehow be able to bring people back from death.
Again?
I didn't understand. Yeah, that's so. This is a part of the movie I understand. Anyhow, Clover kills him because his office is submerged and there's like water leaks everywhere. So he's drinking coffee as he's talking to her. He puts the coffee mug down on his desk and he looks at the window that's submerged underground somehow, but like he looks out a window and she moves this coffee mug over just a slight so some of the water can drip in there. And she moves it out of the way and he drinks coffee and he explodes. And that's how,
like 28 days later,
exactly,
when you have one drop in you.
Exactly, and that's how they're able to. The rest of her crew is being chased by these like Wendigo creatures. She has to kill her sister because there's no other way. Kind of, it's the last night.
Can't save her.
Can't save her once she's been turned into this.
What the fuck?
Once she's been turned into this like zombie looking creature, you're done.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. So they're able to. That was Wilson. No. They're able
like
to.
it either.
Yeah, he didn't like it. So they're able to escape, and that's it. They survive the night. So this is my problem with the film. It's just like I kind of understood the Dr. Hill's. I guess his motivation was to be able to weaponize trauma and grief,
right,
and internalize into people so they can turn into these creatures. Okay, I got that. I don't understand like the supernatural aspect of how they're able to.
Why would they be different? Like,
well, no. How are they able to? They never explain the device, the hourglass device. They never explain how that's able to turn back time. That seems like more of a supernatural element, which is what we got from the trailer. Like we thought that was it's some kind of,
but it's actually a
zone that they've walked,
some
some portal they've walked into, and some whatever, some distant parallel universe or some shit where it's able to. That seemed very supernatural, but the rest of it, these Wendigo creatures were once human. But there's also other creatures in the rain. So the rain is still going the entire time. But it's just kind of surrounding the visitor center. But they try to escape, and that's when we saw that in the trailer where there's like this huge creature in the woods, which is, they try to drive out of there, but they can't. So they have to back up. They never explain that thing. How is that a supernatural creature? Or is that another Dr. Hill's creations? I don't know. The psychopath that was kind of killing him off with the clown mask was like chopping him in pieces. He kills them many times.
Right.
He shows up, but they're not able really to stop him. They stab him. They hurt him, but nothing kind of seems to slow him down. And they kind of, at the end, they do, and they kind of step on his face and
what was the thing?
Crush his head.
In the trailer, they have like the girl's got like a leech in her head.
So that's another one of the videos that's on the guy's phone. Like, oh, what's this video? And it's like, oh, hold on, I'm gonna get it out. I'm gonna get it. It's what we saw in the trailer. Yeah. And it goes inside of her and it starts kind of eating her. And then they cut to a different clip.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh, then there's.
That was like a big part of the trailer. So
yeah,
I thought it
exactly.
was gonna be
right. And then we never see the old lady who's like using that respirator that kills the girl. Never see
like
her.
A lot of cool ideas.
A lot of cool ideas, man. There's same thing in that old woman's home. Because like things will appear. All of a sudden, there's this old woman's home across from the visitor center they're at. Oh, the visitor center is just a house.
Yeah.
But across they have this old woman's home, and they go in there and there's an upstairs room. And again, it's a very creepy atmosphere because there's like these mannequins everywhere with like these strange looking masks on them. These like ceramic masks are like grotesque and contorted. So it's cool. It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
One of the characters has to go upstairs, and you see a rocking chair moving on its own, and he stops it, turns around, he hears it moving again, and there's like a clown doll sitting in it. So it's those kind of things. Right, and then he turns around, and Clover is there. She's put on a mask. She's kind of been possessed by whatever it is, and she kills him, goes outside, gets hit by a car, where Nina and Abe are trying to get out of... They're trying to drive away, so they accidentally run her over. Then they have to like kill themselves to like restart the process. I didn't understand. It's like, is this a supernatural element that's restarting their lives? Because it doesn't seem like as much as you want to internalize and weaponize fear and trauma, you can reset time. It doesn't seem
and is the point being that all those characters, like, they have trauma they have to go through too?
Yeah, I mean, Clover...
I guess because of the loss of the sister.
Loss of the sister, I mean, Max and Clover had a relationship, so he's still kind of pining over her. I guess that's some of the... Trauma there. I don't know. The one girl's kind of psychic, but not there's not a ton of like trauma in between. Like, yeah, I guess I've gone through some things in life. They don't really go into a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Again, I don't understand. It was a cool concept, the whole hourglass thing, but like when it turns, like we see in the trailer, and it restarts the sand, that's when their day restarts.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hit the mic again. But like, how is that? How does that work?
Is that Dr. Hill's controlling it?
Yeah, I never understood. He has cameras all over the place, but somehow he's not affected by anything that's going on. Is it because they're his former patients or the former townspeople that know not to attack him. I don't. They never.
Is he
they never
the
explain
gas station guy, or is it like
he's also this gas station guy, but he's also goes into the Glore Valley, into the visitor center, and conducts his experiments on new people that show up. So what they say is that
how long is he in the gas station?
5 minutes or something,
Per day?
Exactly. I don't know.
How does he keep that?
It seems
open?
like that's his day job to support the Glore Valley hobby. I don't understand. But he's also a psychologist, so I don't know. There's another part where so he's watching everything on screen on the screens. He's not affected by. It seems that he's not affected by anything that's going on. But
because he's not getting restarted.
He's not getting restarted. Huh. There's a part where they're all literally dead inside the living room of the visitor center, and he just walks in, and the phone catches this on because they all died as the phone was running. So he walks in and he's like checking the body. Yeah, he's like checking the body. He's not kicking them and whatever, and just walks away. It's like okay, but there's as the time restarts, we see that again he's not affected by anything. Yeah. But also, after the 13th night, I guess they're slowly, as the nights go on, they're slowly transforming into things themselves. Like they're missing teeth, they're losing teeth, their hair's falling out. There's like things growing on their back. So they're slowly on the 13th night they get turned into Wendigos and they become part of this community. So they find something that says. Beat the game or become part of it.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I got that. Like, I just didn't understand why they have to keep resetting or how that happens. I don't know.
Right.
They didn't go into a lot of detail. So
I just looked because I was just like, since I did hear this was a prequel and it leads up right into the beginning of the game, because apparently. You see like a snowy cabin, and you hear Hills whistling from the cabin and stuff. So he's still alive.
Yeah, well, yeah. So at the end of the film,
I thought you said he blew up.
He blew up at the end of the film. We see the snowy cabin.
Yeah,
and then you see a control room with monitors with cameras watching the snowy cabin. Yeah. Oh. So it's like, is that Hill? Is he back? I don't know.
Because
maybe he's triplets and
because
the gas station guy.
Yeah. He is in a way supernatural or whatever. Like that.
Okay.
They don't really give you everything in the game either about him. But
they don't. That's true.
Yeah.
So the quarry is the third part of this, right? Or no?
Second part.
Well, yeah.
I thought that wasn't related at all. It's a different story, but maybe it is.
I think it's the same company, and
it's the same company that makes it.
Yeah, that's. I thought.
But I don't know. I don't think it's the same storyline.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was,
but I haven't played it, so I can't. But from what I've known said, it's continuation of Until Dawn. At least that's what.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it. Well, I mean, the film was good for what it is. I wish they had given us a little more. I don't know if it's know if it's supernatural or not. Maybe he was able to take the trauma of the town and somehow turn it into super. That's what the film implies. But I mean, overall, what I did like about the film was that it's aside from Peter Stormare, all the other actors are pretty much unknown. They're not. They're starting on their career.
Yeah,
I like that. So it was just you.
Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it. It's a fun movie. Mm-hmm. There's definitely creepy parts to it. I think when Nina, who's supposed to be psychic, is possessed, and she's pointing at the different signs and making their voices, and then that's a pretty creepy scene.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like it's a lot of like good sequences.
Exactly.
And maybe just the story itself needed to be refined more.
I think
around
it.
I
think so. Yeah. It was well done. It was well done, and but I do recommend it. Sure.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Last of Us. Check it out. If you like the game, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. I played the game. And I kind of understood some where it was coming from, and I enjoyed it. So
yeah.
And then going to another movie that was recently watched, Accountant 2.
Yes.
Chad, you saw it? Chad, you're still here. How's it going?
Yes, I am here.
Chad's just sitting here like these fucking nerds.
How long are they gonna fucking
stroke
Tony Gilroy's cock with the Andor talk?
No, it's good.
Is that a Wookiee sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Wookiee. The account. Have you guys seen the first one?
Yes.
I have not. I gotta watch it.
Oh yeah. Okay. This one was lots of fun. Like, I'd have to say, like, there's not a lot of action sequences, but the story is interesting. You're trying to find who killed J.K. Simmons' character from the first film.
Yeah.
And he has the woman he was trying to get to replace him from the first movie, like following up on that.
Yeah.
Like, find the accountant, like, because he has it written on his arm after she identifies his body. And so it kind of, like, really, it almost feels like two different movies at points, because when John Bernthal comes into play, he's Ben Affleck's brother. And like, it's like a completely different, like, there's lots of funny moments between them, because, like, Ben Affleck's obviously, his character's autistic, but John Bernthal kind of really grounds it with, like, the emotions, like, do you miss me, man? Like, he's very upset that he doesn't hear from his brother, or, like, he feels alone, and there's a whole flashbacks of their father training them and stuff, and I think that was the first film. Yeah. Sorry, I'm because I watched it before I went to see.
Oh, you saw 1 and 2.
Yeah, I saw 1 and 2, like, within the same day, and so yeah. Sorry, that
is Anna Kendrick in the second one at all, or no?
No.
So it's just pretty much the brothers.
Just the brothers, yeah. And so as they're trying to figure out this mystery assassin, they're breaking a story of, like, this guy who takes. I guess they're pretty much. Well, I wouldn't say they're elite, but they brought into the country illegally, and they're, like, kind of sex
coyotes.
Coyotes, but it's like sex trafficking.
Oh, okay.
And, like, apparently, to keep them under the bad guy's thumb, he's holding these kids hostage in Juarez, so they pretty can't get out of line. And as they're unlocking this, the mystery. The bad guy has another assassin, like, taking out informants along the way, and, like, and Melinda is the character that's recruited the accountant, but she doesn't want to do it. She doesn't approve of his ways and stuff.
Because she's FBI,
so she kind of separates from them a bit. And there's a moment where the brothers are just trying to connect, like, they're sitting on top of their trailer, like, in this parking lot, and talking, and then they even go to a bar to get drunk, and, like, Ben Affleck starts square dancing. It's like, it felt like a whole different movie at points. Like,
it sounds like they were like, remember the movie Twins? What if we do Twins but with autism?
Yeah, I mean, but, like, I didn't think Ben Affleck overdid it at all. Like, I felt it was just, like, he kept it simple. Yeah, he didn't go full autism. You know? And I know.
Yeah. He's not like Rain Manning.
No, he's not. And the team that from the first one, his friend that was, like, his ear, like, she gave him all the intel and stuff. Now she has a team of. This is where it's kind of like, ugh, but it still was fine. It wasn't, like, bad, but she is working out of where she was last time, but she has a group of kids that are autistic who help her hack into other things. Like, so it's a whole team.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so they can hack into, like, pretty much anything. And, which is a little zany at parts, but I was like, it's fine because there's a attachment. It's like Ben Affleck is kind of building his own autistic family, like, and, like, because there's a part of the story where he's, like, looking at the pictures of the children that were taken away from these women, and, like, he can tell that one of these kids is autistic, and he's like adamant on finishing the job, but also he wants to, like, save this kid. He's like, he's alone by himself type. So there's, like, that whole kind of, I wouldn't say it's like a fatherly incentive, but it's just he feels like he's like this kid. He feels connected to this.
Yeah, because Affleck's character, he's high functioning on the spectrum. But it is hard for him to connect to anyone.
Yeah, but he feels
that somehow he's connected to this character.
Yeah, And they do a good job of it. Like I don't think
it's a real hard line to in any kind of movie dealing with mental handicap or stuff like that. It's or disabilities in any way. It's we've seen it with like the Predator where they're like, no, autism is going to be a superpower, and it's it's hard to like rein it in a little bit. Like,
well, I mean, what was that movie with Bruce Willis and the kid?
Oh, Mercury's Rising.
Yeah.
Wow, that just came to my brain.
And
that's a pull, man. Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, usually they go with the context of this kid can solve these puzzles and by accident come across these big things that get him in trouble.
Right.
So it's a nice change that they're kind of creating. I know it's stereotypical, but they're creating these savants out of these autistic kids. And, it's. I'm glad to. I don't know if any of the kids playing those hacker parts were actually autistic or not. I couldn't really.
Right.
Maybe
they would hire.
I would think they would maybe at least if they were mildly on the spectrum.
What was that Keith or Sutherland TV show where he's got like a
nonverbal
kid?
Yeah, is it Knowing or Following?
Yeah,
some kind
of kid from Gotham is in it. I know.
Yeah,
that. And it was the same thing too, where he could like predict
accidents or something.
Yeah,
or acts of terrorism or something.
This was a Keith or Sutherland show, like after he did 24, where. It was the kid that played Bruce Wayne on Gotham, but he was like really little.
Yeah.
And he plays his son. He's like a nonverbal autistic kid who could work out through math, like when stuff was going to happen, like kind of a precog kind of thing of like accidents are going to happen on this date kind of thing. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was one of those yet again of like, let's make this a superpower kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Which it's a fine line with
but like with Ben Affleck's character, it's not. I mean, from the first movie, you can tell that he wasn't a superpower. He's been like his dad hammered this into him.
Yeah. I mean, that's I can remember the first one. And I felt like it's kind of like it's very Reacher, like the way he was kind of brought up in the military.
Yeah,
the very strict father who wasn't gonna let him succumb to his disability and like doing like the heavy metal music and like when he was having a freak out, you know, like try to harness that rage and stuff. So, and if you've seen like Temple Grandin movie where
it's a great movie,
and just like
with Hilary Duff.
No.
What am I talking about?
Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank, yeah.
No, it's not her either. It's Claire Danes.
Claire Danes, yes. Jeez, why do I? Well, we fucked that one up. Man.
I knew what you were saying with Duff, though. It's funny. I knew the train you were on. So
now you proved that you aren't. So,
but yeah. So it's. I think it's hard because I know people who have autistic children.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, well, they're autistic, so they must be great at math or they must be great at art. It's like. The savant thing is it's very rare cases in autism. Yeah. Most autistic children, if they're nonverbal and such, like they have to be taken care of their entire lives. Yeah.
Well, Hollywood
loves to make a superpower out of it.
And that is true. But like Bennett, like I know people as well who have autism, but they're high functioning and they don't speak like Ben Affleck does. Mm-hmm. Like they're not very. They're still able
robotic
to,
and
they're not very robotic. So it's interesting that he chose the robotic speech pattern.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it works in the sense that people around him are more emotional than him. So it kind of gives that contrast.
I don't hear a lot of like arguments coming from like that community at all. Like about the movie. There's no one out protesting it and stuff like that. Same with like The Good Doctor, like that was a show that I thought, oh man, they're gonna protest the hell out of this, but it seemed to do fairly well. So
I mean, like of the whole film, like the darkest part of it was the whole they kind of didn't really specify everything that was going on with what the bad guy was doing, but it was pretty much like sex trafficking and like other drugs and things like behind the scenes. It's because there was another there's this female assassin that J.K. Simmons was meeting with. That she's connected to a family that the bad guy, split up and stole and killed the father of. So there's like, and they uncover this as they're breaking down the mystery of like, who is this mystery woman? Blah blah blah.
Right.
You know, and but yeah, it's just like the most memorable moments are like just John Bernthal and Ben Affleck having fun together.
Yeah.
Like they get into a bar fight, and like if that was a movie in of itself, I could watch.
How much guttural screaming does Bernthal do in this? It's just,
yeah.
I love it.
Not so much because like they like when they suit up for the finale shootout, like they're really they really go at it well. It's professionally done. It's a good job. Like I was worried John Bernthal was gonna die or something, and I was like, oh no, that's gonna be sad. But no, they
I've
both
seen.
make it
I mean,
out.
like in interviews, they've talked about, when Affleck talked to the director about these movies, like he envisioned it as a trilogy. So does it really end like on a way that
they could, because that there's a lot of conversation between the two of like it's like do you ever like, well, John Bernthal's like, do you ever miss me, man? Like he really is looking for that connection.
Yeah.
And then Ben Affleck's talking about, it's like, do you ever like feel lonely? Like he speaks of that, and so they're kind of connecting,
trying to find that middle ground.
Yeah. And by the end of it, I think they did, and so I could see a third one happening. But like I didn't mention it, the reason when they went to save the children in Juarez, the reason was the main bad guy didn't want the evidence of the children to be found, so they were going to murder them all and throw them in a pit and stuff, and so they had to get there in time and take all they got. So it was good. It was very good.
What I saw that they had a popcorn bucket for the count of two, but it was a Airstream.
It was
trailer.
the Airstream trailer.
Yeah. Why?
Well, he uses an Airstream trailer to pack everything he loves. His weapons.
In the first movie, he's
he's
got a nice house and everything, but like all of his like real stuff is in this one Airstream.
And if he needs to move from a new destination, he could just get in the Airstream and drive away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I saw that. I saw the popcorn bucket, and I was just
like,
like, "What's that popcorn?"
I didn't even know they
bucket
made
for?
a popcorn bucket.
It was just a silver
just an
Airstream.
Airstream trailer. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I haven't seen either one of them, but
no, but I'm surprised. Like it took me a while to see the first one, and I saw it because I was seeing the second. But I was like, this is surprisingly tasteful, and like it's good, it's fun.
Yeah,
I want to see it. Yeah.
No, I mean, like I could see. Yeah, I don't see them doing more than 3. But
right.
Like I could see a third one come down the line for something.
Cool.
But
it's not John Wick or anything. Like that.
No. But I mean, yeah.
Cool. So you recommend it, John?
Yeah, no, definitely check it
All
out.
Right. We usually, speaking of movies, we watched a couple trailers that we want to talk about. I guess Honey Don't is a movie that's coming out soon.
Ethan Coen movie.
Ethan Coen, from the Coen brothers.
It looks very almost like Magnolia or like a I'm trying to think of the director.
Well, I felt from the trailer, I got like a Nice Guys vibe from it.
Yeah,
but also with an Inherent Vice.
Inherent Vice, definitely.
Inherent Vice for sure. Yeah.
And then one other film I can't remember. Like I'm not coming up with one for that, but it just feels very
almost like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
A little bit that too. I mean, like the fact that Charlie is either a fellow detective or and it just like gives that kind of like, all right, there's a is there
a little more tongue in cheek,
like 70s?
It looks very 70s.
70s, yeah. So it's just got this vibe to it that reminds me of Nice Guys and Inherent Vice, and just like it's gonna be tongue in cheek.
Yeah, great cast.
Great cast.
Yeah, it's got Aubrey Paul's in it. Margaret Qualley plays Honey, the private investigator. Chris Evans, Charlie Day's in it. Yeah, so
to see Chris Evans play a bad guy is always fun. So
I love he's kind of really like, since Captain America, he's like, how many bad guys can I play?
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
Knives Out. Like
yeah.
he's so good at it.
Yeah.
So. I love it. I love that he's playing this evangelical kind of scumbag.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I dig it. And it looks like it's set like in the South. Like there's definitely that kind of feel to it.
Yeah. Well, Ethan Coen, because it just said by Ethan Coen, so
Yeah.
not both brothers.
No.
But Ethan Coen, didn't he put out a movie previously that was kind of like star-studded, but it didn't do...
Yeah. Oh, there was like a road trip movie.
Yeah, it was like they were Thelma and Louise type on the run.
Yep.
So
and it came out last year.
And that like was more modern times or era that the movie took place. So this is maybe he was like, oh, let me try something.
It's interesting that the brothers like Ethan and Joel Coen are not directing together.
Yeah, I
on
mean
stuff nowadays, but
I mean, I'm sure it's like, oh, I've been wanting to chase this for a while, or I want to do this, so I could see them.
I don't want to have to say that it's me and my brother anymore. It's like but it looks interesting. It looks good. I like a fast-paced detective story. With quick wit and
those are always fun.
Yeah,
those are always fun.
And I haven't seen a lot of Quali, but I'm glad she's getting a lead role like this to not play like a sexualized character, even though like she does great in what was the one with
the Substance?
Substance, and
she's
like
in that
and
Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood, and Nice Guys. She was great in that as well. So it's like that's cool that she's. I haven't seen this kind of character from her, so this is going to be fun to see.
Yeah, this is more of a vehicle for her for sure. I thought it was in more of an Audrey Plaza movie when the trailer started. I was like, oh, Audrey Plaza's right front and center, but it looks like she's more of a supporting role in this.
Probably like a duo from the trailer. It seems like they team up to work together or something.
So I'm all for that.
Yeah, me too. I'm interested in checking it out. And we also watched the Long Walk trailer.
Oh, man.
This is a film based on a 1979 novel by Stephen King. And apparently it's just some kind of dystopian future where a group of young men are forced to walk on it looks like Interstate 1.
It looks like they volunteer for this.
They volunteer for it. Yeah, it's a game,
kind of like a Hunger Games.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an Outlast. Until you just keep walking. You can't go under 3 miles per hour.
Right.
Until one of you is left standing.
So from the plot, I'm reading here from the novel, 100 young men walk. It doesn't seem like it's 100 young men in the film. It's like maybe like 24. Each route one. Each walker must keep pace above 4 miles an hour. If the walker drops below the speed for 30 seconds, you get a warning. Another one gets another warning. Third, he gets eliminated, which means in the trailer, he gets shot.
Yeah.
So it's and a group of soldiers are just following them in vehicles and filming them along the way. So in the novel, they get to choose their own prize. I don't know if that's what's going to happen in the film or not, but it stars Cooper Hoffman, which is I just found out today is Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid. Yeah, I didn't know that. I've seen him in Licorice Pizza and
Saturday Night.
And then David Johnson, who played Andy.
So good.
He is.
And Romulus.
And then
and he's doing a really good American accent in this.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And Ben Wang is in this, who's from coming out in Karate Kid Legends.
Oh yeah,
he's the kid.
Yeah.
So, and then you have Mark Hamill as the bad.
That's right.
Guy,
yeah,
I guess,
he's a bad guy. Yeah. He plays very good bad guys. Though.
Yeah.
He was a great bad guy in Fall House of Usher on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
He's really good in it. So yeah, it's again, it looks like the Hunger Games. You walk until you can't walk anymore, and if you can't walk anymore, they shoot you.
Yeah.
So it looks like a pretty brutal contest that they're in, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they do it.
It's all run by Mr. Beast. It's
I would win it.
You would win
it.
You'd
win it.
Yeah.
How'd you win it?
Walking, dude.
You're wearing Heelys the whole time, huh?
Wee.
Come out September 12th, so scheduled release September 12th. So I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah.
And we also got a foreign film trailer, Watch the Skies.
Yeah.
Looks like it's about alien abduction.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Norwegian.
I want to say that,
Swedish?
or it sounded like a close to German accent, but it's probably Norwegian or in that area.
Yeah.
Scandinavian-ish.
Yeah.
But it looks good.
Yeah. It definitely has some. It's a vibes movie. It's very much like has a very interesting look. The chase sequences, all the car sequences look really interesting.
Yeah.
Like the way the cameras are set up, and like there's a sequence where they're going up like parking garage, and you're seeing all these like cop cars chasing.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the framing of it was beautifully done. Like
Swedish film.
Swedish. Okay.
Yeah. AI dub. First, apparently AI dub.
Oh, wow.
Film.
Yeah, so this has been I saw a video about this being a little controversial, but you know, to match the lips to the British the American dub, English. It's English. Dub, they used AI to manipulate the mouths of the actors.
Yeah.
And I think it looks
good.
fairly okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's scenes obviously it
Well,
looks
wait,
better than Craven.
Well, wait. Did they use AI just to manipulate their mouth and not the voice
audio?
speaking?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, they just took the dubbed language, and then because when you watch a movie, the mouth movements aren't.
I don't know.
Precise.
Like, see, if there are people that find that such a problem, I was like, what? I don't.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched so many movies in another language, and I mean, like, it doesn't bother me anyway. If anything, at times it just mattered if the dub was just a weird voice for the person they picked.
Right.
Other than that, nothing would have thrown me off. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, of course they're not going to be matching.
I prefer to watch subtitles. So when it comes to foreign
Your
films,
subs, not dubs,
I'm
baby.
I'm subs, not dubs. Yeah.
Like, I don't mind it because, like, that sometimes you get two different movies out of it.
That's true.
Because you get how we interpret it, and then it could be a little more goofy. And that's the thing. So a lot of Japanese films sometimes will, or anything from Hong Kong or anything like that. Sometimes we kind of tend to make it a little more silly or goofy.
Yeah.
When watching the subtitles, it's more serious and grounded there.
True.
So with this, I don't think that would be an issue, because like from the dub sounds pretty solid with So I'll probably, obviously in theaters it's probably going to be dubbed, I would assume. So
I could just tell by watching the trailer though that it was dubbed. Like I could tell.
Yeah.
Like there's something off.
There's something off.
Yeah, something off.
Well,
So-
and I hope this there's still a lot of people that are scared off by foreign movies. There's a majority of people won't see a movie with subtitles. They won't see. So I hope this opens
they can't
up
get off their goddamn phone.
Like they want an American remake of whatever movie, which you're like, why?
Yeah.
I hope this opens up the market more to like let people feel more comfortable watching foreign films.
True.
Because there's a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to give it so many are in Oscar nominees now.
Yeah,
I mean, like
that's true.
Anatomy of a Murder, and all those, those were great.
I mean, Parasite.
Parasite.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe if this brings more of an audience to them, sure, I'm supporting.
Yeah.
But like, they promote this as like a Spielbergian film type of vibe. So that already pulls me in.
Yeah,
so.
it definitely carries Encounters with Third Kind.
Yeah.
And Stranger Things vibe. So
yeah.
Even
Although I
though
hate comparing things to Stranger Things.
I know, me too.
Stranger Things is just copying everything else.
Stranger Things is already a derivative.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's mostly that because of the lighting and the soundtrack.
Yeah.
We even got
I don't know if
that sounded.
I don't know if the music is just from the trailer, because trailer companies
that's
do
true.
things.
Yeah,
that's true.
And they're like, might be like, well, we're gonna put this music in compared to the movie. We
I doubt that's the exact for those shots. So.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it. It comes out May 9th, so this weekend.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go check it out, guys.
Also, I completely forgot. I saw the movie Havoc on Netflix. It just came to mind.
Oh my gosh, that took like years for that to come out.
I know. Gareth Evans, director of Raid 2, Headshot, and Apostle, I believe. And this was...
And that funny teen drama, Panty Raid.
What, really?
No, I'm just...
I mean, I'd be like, well, all right. Well, I guess I got to see that. I mean,
don't
pull my arm.
As soon as you said teen drama, I was like, oh, God.
It's Porky's with with the
with martial arts.
the guys from Raid.
Porky's with a knife fight.
That's how they break into a sorority house.
Yeah,
they got to fight their way out. They got trapped in. The girls.
Wait, TM. This is a good idea. This is a good idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a very fun movie, kind of absurd at times. He does use some CG in there for the city because it seemed
like just background shots and stuff.
Well, not so much because like there's cop car chases and the way they're moving is like this is obviously CG, but he went for a vibe with it that it worked because it just they don't specify what city you're in really,
right. But
it's kind of like you could tell it's like northeast somewhere. It could be in that vicinity, Chicago, Boston, or New York, and. But Tom Hardy delivers a great job, kind of like he's doing his New York accent.
He's got the one American accent.
Yeah, and
I can talk like this.
And the action is just crazy. Timothy Olyphant, he plays one of the bad guys, and like it's just the shootout. Like, I mean, you'd probably be if you you got to look at this movie like, all right, this is more. A shootout from like Hong Kong where not a lot of reloads.
Crazy.
Reloads.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah. Like
it's bullet ballet.
People are not
ballet.
Like people are not conserving their like they are unloading the weapon.
Yeah,
so
of course.
That's what makes it so fun because you're like, what is happening? Like there's like I'll say the most memorable action scene is the club scene, like in the middle of the movie, like peels all these. Parts like collide and the people are chopping each other up with a knife and shooting each other and it's complete insanity and I fully recommend the movie. It's been top one for a week now I think or so and it's just lots of fun. Don't like kind of take it too seriously. It's just like a good romp.
Like a John Wick kind of vibe.
Kind of, yeah. It's like Forrest Whitaker. He's like running for mayor or is mayor, and his son his estranged son gets in a mix-up where his son stole from the cops like a bunch of drugs from the cops for the triads, and as he delivers it, the dirty cops show up and mow down all the triads, and the triad that was murdered was the son of this, like she's a matriarch of this triad. She comes and she starts killing everybody, and she's after the kids. And then Forrest Whitaker hires Tom Hardy. He's like, find my kid so I can, I know what you did, stuff like that. And then, but Timothy Olyphant is the head of all the bad group of cops, but Tom Hardy used to be a part with them. Like they used to be like a group together. So there's that personal connection there, and. No, and it's all really good, like, just fun romp. Don't take it too seriously. You read into it. It's,
Well, this was something that they shot, like, what, 2021?
Yeah, 2021 or something like that. So.
It's been on the shelf for a long time.
Let's admit it, yeah.
I was hoping the Egyptian Theater would have it at least a day or two in the theater there, but no, it was just it was just Netflix. So
okay.
I'd say... if you have, because it's not too long of a movie either, so it's a good.
So if you have Netflix, watch it. It's free.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks for letting us know about that. I'll check it out. Just a reminder, we'll be at Pasadena Comic Con.
Yeah.
Coming up very soon here.
2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. So we'll be May 24th.
24th.
Yeah, May 24th. So we'll be there.
Saturday.
We'll have a small little booth there. Maybe we'll have some giveaway items, hopefully.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit of a raffle.
Come by, say hi.
Yeah, come by. If we do have a raffle, you'll be able to get a ticket just by following us on our social medias, on Instagram, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you get a ticket, and hopefully do a little raffle. But our main raffle will be at NostalgiaCon, which is June 6th through 8th at Anaheim Convention Center. Come see us. We'll have a bigger booth there. We'll definitely have giveaway items. We'll definitely have a raffle. And again, just every follow on our social media, on our Spotify or Apple Podcast is a ticket. So we usually have the ticket at the end of the event.
Yeah.
It's a 3-day event, so we'll figure out how that goes.
Yeah, it'll be at the Anaheim Convention Center.
Yeah.
NostalgiaCon. And then,
we'll figure out how that goes, and we'll have some cool stuff. Come say hi to us. And, hopefully we'll see you there.
And if your back's a little sore, we'll crack your back, too. We'll give you the old bear hug situation. And we'll... you'll feel good, no problem.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, Jack keeps saying that. I don't know how that's going to work. All right. But yeah, you want to take us out, Jed?
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for listening to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. And if you aren't already, please like, subscribe, comment, and...
rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It does help the algorithms and gets us some love from sponsorships and stuff like that. And I just got bit by a spider. I'm gonna get some powers now.
Oh wow!
Nice.
And as we always say, enter the nerddom. You're right here, right now. I don't know the rest of the dialogue, but you know.
Oh my God, Chad! You gotta read this in Saw Gerrera's voice. Do it dramatically. Go.
Okay. Look at us, unloved, hunted, cannon fodder, and yet here we are. And where are you, boy? You're here. You're right here, and you're ready to fight.
God damn, that's good.
That's
dude.
good.
God damn, I'm ready to fight, dude.